too is, hey, don't worry about the red correction marks. Let us as coaches take care of that. You free your mind after that one play, move on, don't dwell on it. And I think that's a great approach with a younger team. But it's one that certainly has had a tough time. They've been in a few of these games and very easily could be 3-1 as opposed to 1-3.
Yeah, Ryan Lynch and Deacon Blevins, your quarterback options tonight for the Delta Eagles, both have thrown 2 touchdowns. Ryan Lynch, 253 yards through the air, while Deacon Blevins, 22 of 39 for 235 yards. Avon Thomas, 329 yards on the ground, 109 yards per game. You'll take over 100 average on a starting running back any day of the week, and he does take a lot of pressure off of that 2-quarterback set.
He does, and he's very skilled, young as well. Have him back again next year. Coach Lynch talked a lot about the one that's really a threat, really hasn't been so much statistically, is number one in Amir Hill. He says he's certainly just a guy that can just really beat you in a lot of ways. He said they have to find ways to get him the ball a bit more. So I look for that maybe to be a little bit of the focus tonight. You're going to find some balance with the passing, but certainly Amir Thomas and Amir Hill. And then Carter Jackson's one on the outside as well. He's leading them in receiving, but do look for Amir Hill to be a little bit more of the focal point.
Yeah, Hill with 7 catches, 90 yards, and a touchdown. You mentioned Carter Jackson, 2 catches for 163 yards and a long of 90 yards. Those 2 catches, big-time touchdowns over the top. So he is certainly a deep threat for this Delta Eagle squad. Mount Vernon comes in at 0-4 on the season, and they have a dual-threat quarterback with Mason Meyer, 452 yards through the air, 3 touchdowns, 4 interceptions in 4 games, but he also has 43 carries for 119 yards. You like what you see out of Meyer dual-threat-wise, but 4 interceptions. That's what separates you from being an 0-4 team to being 2-2 or 3-1.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to mention in terms of that. Like I said, I had an opportunity to do their first game week 1 against Noblesville, and you expect a lot of those things coming out of the rest of the summer and going through fall camp and just trying to line up against somebody else other than your teammate. But, he was really pressing not only in week 1 but week 2 as well, to where he was really hurrying a lot, almost like he was trying to win the game as opposed to, just go out and do your job and allow everything else to kind of fall in its place. But, he has settled down a little bit in this last game, but he is one that is very much of a dual threat. He hurts you every bit as much with his legs, if not potentially a little bit more than what he can with his arm. But the thing that also has really hurt Mount Vernon over these 4 games is really the penalties. Mm-hmm. The turnovers has been one thing, but there's been quite a bit of penalization, that this team has dealt with in their 4 contests. So look for that tonight. They've struggled a little bit with just trying to find the balance with their just the yardage. I mean, they're averaging, 130 through the air and 50 on the ground, so they need to see what the output will be here tonight against the Eagles.
Yeah, they lost to Noblesville to start the season 21-6, Franklin 27-13, Greenfield Central in a close one 24-21, and then last week the number 1 team in the state, New Pal, beat him 71-0, just averaging 10 points per contest. But you look at the first 4 games, only 1 4A opponent.
Yeah, well, and here's the other thing, too, is, you talk about Coach Lighty is one that's, no stranger. This is his 5th year, but you're talking about a coach that's won like almost 70% of his games. He's 31-16, done this, had some really good programs, and have done really well. It's always been kind of them and New Pal right there with what they do in their conference. So, these are things that will continue to iron their ways out. He's got not only tonight but 4 more games after tonight to get ready. And as quick as we've gotten to this point, think about that same amount of time in 4 weeks. We're talking sectional time.
Yeah, and we talk about these 2 teams knowing each other well. Obviously, a Hoosier Heritage Conference game. This is one you circle on the calendar. Despite what the records are, this opponent, and this has became a rivalry game over the years.
Absolutely. I mean, it's one there. As much as we say Delta, the Muncie area, it's not far from Fortville, and a lot of these guys are very familiar with each other. A lot of camps together in the off season, and then just being conference play in itself. I mean, these are situations where some of these guys can see each other in sectional play also, and so it's one that is certainly always a good environment. As you see the Mount Vernon Marauders coming out here now, I think it's going to be a great contest here tonight at Hancock.
Yeah, the Marauders in their home, all black uniforms and blacked out helmets on the other side. The visiting Delta Eagles in their all-white uniforms. We will get Craig's final keys before we kick this thing off right after this on IndianaSRN.
Teaches Bible-based character education to public school students during school hours. Not before school and not after, but during school hours.
So here's how this works. The students will leave this school building, hop on this bus, take a short ride across the street to the church. I can see the steeple from here, have Bible class, hop back on the bus, head back to school. It's that simple.
Go to lifewise.org to find your school.
Big play here for Mount Vernon. Hurdle looking right, now over the middle, fires, and it's in there for a touchdown. What a throw. Boy, what a stick, huh? Side out, back to the middle, and guess what? You want a point on the other side, you go to Taylor Lewis.
Here's Freeman. Has an opening shot. Score!
Stafford around a screen. Skip pass. Mays with 3. Mays drive. Floater up and in at the horn.
Hand off, and nice hole over the near side. 40, 35, 30. Block to the outside. 20, 15, 10, 5, and touchdown. And that's a big one right there. And finally, somebody gets on the board.
Welcome back. Tony Donahue, Craig Cox with you on IndianaSRN. Right before kick, the Marauders of Mount Vernon, 0-4 in the season, won the toss. They have elected to kick it off. The Delta Eagles at 1-3 in their all-white uniforms will start first on offense. We want to thank Reynolds Farm Equipment. They're the leading equipment dealer serving farmers, homeowners, landscapers, and commercial contractors throughout the state of Indiana. Nothing runs like a deer. Give us a call, 317-849-0810. Always good on the road to get the football first and maybe try to steal a little bit of momentum away and a little bit of excitement from the crowd.
No, absolutely. And I think, it's going to be really key for Mount Vernon to see how can they get Mason Lewis really involved with their dual threat attack. He's really the key to how their offense goes. And then when you think about Delta, as we get the kickoff, a little short one here at that.
Yeah, Bargo kicks it with the left foot short at the 25-yard line, fielded at the 30, makes a couple of Marauders miss, and to the 41-yard line is where Delta will start. So you'll take that good field position here on the Eagles' first possession.
Yeah, not only a short kick, but what a great return. Gets about 20 out of that, and a great way to start the first drive. But, you think about, with Delta and what that is Coach was talking about, don't make the moment in front of you too big, and we talked a little bit about, trying to not feel like you have to go out and win the game. You'll see dual threats here, but you got to be able to talked about Amir Hill and Arnaz Hill in terms of the run game.
Lynch takes a high snap. He starts a quarterback. Screen is caught by Jackson, and he's upended just past the 45-yard line. Forward progress will be marked at the 47, so a short pickup on the screen play on first down for Delta.
Coming at you here, just nice little pass out here to the flats. Good technique here. Shoulder first. Obviously would have taken him down there. Probably would have drew a penalty, but kind of set him down a little lighter. But no, good out route there that they got. No gain on it, but we'll see what we get here on second.
That's Mason Meyer on the tackle. So playing both sides of the football is the starting quarterback. Makes the tackle. And we're going to have a 2nd down and 5 coming up here after the screenplay on first down. Man in motion. Another look, this time it's Deacon Blevins in at quarterback. It's a screen right to the sticks, caught past the 50 and into plus territory, enough for a first down. Amir Hill, as you mentioned, getting him started early. We see him there on the pitch and catch on the screen for the first down.
Well, and some of those times, as well as it was executed and got him some positive yards, not only moved the chains, but sometimes those slow developing plays really allows the defense to be able to make their pursuit. But in this case, it worked for the Eagles as they get the first down of the game.
How difficult is it for this defense to stay on their toes when we've seen now this is the third play in the second quarterback? They're rotating in both Blevins and Lynch.
They do jump around quite a bit. Both of them have almost very similar yards and attempts at that. As you see Lynch here breaking about 4 tackles.
He makes something out of nothing. He was caught up in the backfield on the play action and a couple missed tackles. He's able to get back to the line of scrimmage, keep the feet churning to the 45-yard line, and a pickup of 3. It should have been a sack, but you take plus yardage there.
You do, and I mean, this is a young man too. The name is very familiar. As we see the play here, it's Coach Lynch's son, just a sophomore, breaks 1, 2, breaks 3 here. But what a great job, great effort in terms of just getting some positive yards as we make it here in 2nd and 8.
Yeah, it would have been a loss of about 8 on the sack. Nonetheless, he runs about 12 yards to pick up 2. 2nd and 8, handoff up the middle. Makes one man miss, gets to the 40-yard line, and pushes it forward close to the sticks. It'll be just short of the first down, but a 3rd and manageable here coming up for Delta on their opening drive. That run there was Gray Backus, the senior running back. It'll be a 3rd down and 2. Opening possession here for the Eagles of Delta on the road. 2 quick screen passes got them the first down. Now a 3rd and 2. 1 wide receiver top of your screen.
I get to the 37.
That's Carter
here.
Jackson. Here's the handoff. Spins forward. It's going to be close. Again, Backus once again. I think he's going to be just short. So put your coaching cap on here. An opportunity to go for it here on a 4th and short.
Yeah, definitely 4 down territory where you're at. Too long for a field goal. Really doesn't make a whole lot of sense to punt. You could, but even if you don't get this, you still have them in a position where they're starting inside the 30 and almost the 35 at that. So certainly a good call. I like it, and certainly early on what this can do for the momentum and the psyche for your offense. But also a stop will help the Marauders' psyche as well.
4th and 1. Wait for the hard count. It'll be a quarterback keeper. Plenty of space. And enough for the first down. Ryan Lynch picks up 12 when he needed 1. It was a slow developing play. You were waiting for the burst. He might have been able to take that to the house. Nonetheless, moves the sticks, and Lynch will grab some water. Deacon Blevins will check back in, but a nice run there on 4th down by Ryan Lynch.
No, it was. And, I mean, Lynch is a guy that is good with his feet, but certainly hasn't been utilized a great deal in that area. We've seen him early on now, only has 37 yards rushing on the year, but certainly showing his great ability as we get Deacon Blevins coming in.
Yeah, Blevins comes in with the 4 wide receiver set. Quick throw to the left side of the 19-yard line, and a nice pitch and catch there on first down. Matt Morey with his 6th reception of the season.
Well, nice little hitch route here. And, I mean, what you're doing with this is obviously you're thinking ball control. You're consuming a lot of clock. You're keeping the defense on the field, kind of getting them gassed a little bit. So certainly a good, impressive drive that's chewing up, a good amount of the clock. We're almost halfway through the quarter now.
2nd and 4 inside the red zone, brought to you by Beatty Insurance Company, which understands your industry and what's on the line for you. Call Lance, 812-522-5640. 2nd and 4. Blevins checks out. Lynch back into the game, and we're going to have all sorts of jump here on the defensive side, so move it forward, and that's an automatic first down on the offsides, and the first penalty marker of the night goes against Mount Vernon with 7:11 to go in the first quarter.
Well, throughout a game, you're always going to have these types of scenarios. You don't like to see them this early. Mm-hmm. As we talked about in the pregame, was more around that's really been the Achilles piece to Mount Vernon. It's really been a detriment on both sides of the ball with their penalties.
So a 1st and 10 from the 15 after the 5-yard penalty. Mount Vernon shows blitz, handoff, right side, tries to get the edge, cuts back, picks up about 4, down to the 11-yard line as Thomas on the run there. And, Craig, you got to like what Billy Lynch is doing here on this first possession. You've been able to move the sticks via the ground and via the air.
Yeah, and most of what he's done through the air has been, again, little short out routes, screens, hitches, little 7 yards. But he's chunking up the field going, but he's establishing a lot on the ground. And certainly like what I've seen not only with the play calling, a little bit of the balance of it, but the versatility. They spread things around.
Half a quarter almost gone by here in the first, 6:22 to go. Handoff, tries to cut back right side, makes one man miss, and he's tackled just short of the 5-yard line. So we'll see if they mark him at the 6. So it'll be a 3rd down and 2. Ball officially at the 7-yard line. And, Craig, I'm thinking 4-down territory here. You want to put up 6 and 7 points here early in this first drive.
Well, you've exhausted quite a bit from an offensive standpoint, and yeah, you don't want to come up when with a field goal here. So yeah, I think it's you got 2 downs really to make 6 feet, and certainly with the way that they've been able to establish themselves thus far, look for them to do that.
Ryan Lynch from the right hash mark, Avon Thomas in the backfield with him, averaging 109 yards on the ground. Quarterback keeper the entire way into the end zone, Ryan Lynch, and Delta has their first rushing touchdown of 2025. They strike first, 5:32 to go in the first quarter. It's a 6-yard touchdown run from Ryan Lynch.
Really good job here. Not your conventional tush-push, stayed straight up. Didn't really get a lot of resistance, but a really impressive drive. Here to see the replay. Just does a good job being a little patient, following the lead blocks there, finds his seam and the end zone at the same time. So taking off half the first quarter clock, so really good job there with ball control.
Extra point is good. A 61-yard drive ends in 7. Delta strikes first. They lead by a touchdown on IndianaSRN.
Hey, thanks for joining us tonight. We consider it a privilege to have you as one of our listeners and viewers. If you'd like to see more content just like tonight, just hit the donate button. Every dollar that you donate will go right back into more games right here on IndianaSRN. This means more games for you. It's IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
This is the hotel breakfast.
It looked different online.
Do you children like eggs? Here, they make your bones grow.
It'll be fine. It's gonna be fine. All right, guys. Look alive.
Is it fine, Daryl?
I'm starving.
When free hot breakfast can make or break your day, it matters where you stay.
Go get them.
Hampton by Hilton. Hilton for the
61 yards on the opening drive. 6 minutes, 28 seconds off the board for head coach Billy Lynch and the Delta Eagles. Capped off by a 7-yard Lynch touchdown run, the first touchdown run of the season for Delta. And Craig, you got to like what you saw there out of Delta. Not only did they go on a very patient drive, they got it done via the air and via the ground.
No, great balance for one. We talked about that. We talked about, obviously the ball control, possessing, kind of keeping your defense at bay, playing honest, but also tired at the same time.
So we'll see what Mount Vernon can do on their opening possession. We'll start at the 25-yard line after the touchback. 5:32 to go. After a long first drive for Delta, ended in 7. Quarterback keeper on the opening play for Mount Vernon tries to make something out of nothing and maybe pass the 20-yard line to the 22. Goes Mason Meyer, a pickup of 2. He's 452 yards to the air on the season, averaging 10 yards per throw, 3 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. That's his 44th carry now with 121 yards on the season and 1 touchdown for the Marauders, who are 0-4 on the season. Today's broadcast is the copyright production of IndianaSRN and the Indiana High School Athletic Association. Any use of audio or video without the express written permission of IndianaSRN and the IHSAA is strictly prohibited. Another quarterback keeper here, Mason Meyer, the dual threat quarterback, is going to lose 4 yards back to the 19-yard line. So 3rd and long quickly here on this opening possession for Mount Vernon.
Well, as much as Lewis is very shifty, we talked about, again, dual threat. But I do think he's probably, if you had to pick one, a little bit more threat with his legs than he is his arm, although he can certainly still sling it. But great job there by the Eagles defense of staying home, protecting the edge, being patient, letting him make the first move in their pursuit.
Deion Clarkson and Evan Privet, the running backs for Mount Vernon as well. 3rd and 11 out of shotgun, and we're going to have a flag on the play. We're going to have 2 flags. And it looks like this will push Mount Vernon back even further. False start. So 3rd and 11.
Well, as much as you had the start that Coach Lynch is looking for, certainly not the start that Coach Leidy's looking for here in terms of what his offense and or defense gave up as well. And certainly a tall task here at 3rd and 16 from your own 14.
Yeah, and for Delta, right, your offense picks up your defense, right, gets them pumped, and we'll see if they can get off the ground here. They try to throw it on 3rd and 16 under pressure, nobody open, and Meyer gets knocked down, but the ball falls incomplete. Did get it past the line of scrimmage. So 3 and out here for Mount Vernon. They'll be forced to punt, but we talked about your defense coming on the field. They're hyped. The offense just went down on a long drive, got points. Defense comes out and says, all right, go right back on the field, 3 and out. And now Mount Vernon's defense, who just gave up that long 61-yard drive, is going to go right back onto the field.
Yeah, now special teams is going to see what they can say about it as well, because they should have good starting position here.
Good punt here, bounce at the 45, takes a Mount Vernon bounce past the 50, down to the 45,
really
the 40, and he punted that thing from the goal line, and it's going to wind up at the 35.5-yard line. So that's where Mount Vernon will take over on their opening possession. We want to thank Boilermakers Local 374. They represent highly skilled, highly motivated workers in the field of construction and metal fabrication across Indiana. Whether it's a new build, upgrade, or facility maintenance, you can count on Local 374 to get the job done right the first time. Tony Donahue, Craig Cox with you on IndianaSRN. We saw a balance on that 61-yard opening drive by Delta. I don't expect to see anything else.
Yeah, I think you're one that if you're Delta and Coach Lynch, you want to try to duplicate that. Sometimes it'll be a little tall task, and certainly this Marauder defense wants to certainly, change and flip the coin.
Lynch started last drive. This time it's Blevins on the quarterback handoff. On the end around, the reverse, enough for a first down. It's Amir Hill getting it done via the ground, a pickup of 11 to move the sticks on first down.
Well, great job. You talked about the balance on the first one. Here we get the replay. First time they've had some shifts pulling from the other side, but first time the misdirection that they've had that turned in to 11 for them. So, again, it's early in the game, but great job of Coach Lynch and his staff in trying to mix things up. And, he talked about, too, how, they got a lot of guys that can really make plays. And when you have that, you can spread it around, and certainly is a great weapon to have.
Very patient set here on first down. Hands off, gets the edge and taken down at the 50-yard line. This time it's Avon Thomas on the handoff, had a burst of speed out of the backfield and gets it past the midfield line. They'll mark him right at the 50. It'll be a 2nd down and 7 on a 3-yard run. Under 3 minutes to play already in this first quarter. A very patient Delta offense at work as Deacon Blevins checks back in 2nd and 7.
Well, you might get through the first quarter and only have Delta having 2 possessions and Mount Vernon 1 is the way it's looking right now. But we'll see if the Marauders defense has something to say about it.
3 wide set. Blevins takes out a shotgun, quick throw and catch down to the 45-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 5. And right out of the slot, Amir Hill looks back, snags his 9th catch of the season, and it'll set up a 3rd down and short with 2:15 to play in the first quarter.
Well, you saw there where Mount Vernon was looking to bring the blitz, had 2 of their backers and a safety, that was actually defensive back on the line of scrimmage. Great job by Blevins being able to pick that up and understanding and knowing that he had a 2-step drop and had to get rid of the ball quick as we get our first time out of the game.
Yeah, Mount Vernon will take a timeout. We'll take it with them. 2:08 to go. Delta 3rd and 2 coming up.
Poached egg on avocado toast.
Ew. Your flash fried porgy over chips.
Ew.
Your fresh Maine lobster with microgreens.
When the only thing your 8-year-old will eat is waffles.
She's fine. She's fine. Your waffles, milady.
It matters where you stay.
Yum.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Hampton by Hilton. Hilton for the stay.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'd like to order a hamburger, fries, salt, maybe a large vanilla shake.
This is a trophy shop, can't you tell?
You got carry out?
Everything that you need, we have here at the shop. Very unique. You order today, carry out tonight. That's our version of carry out.
All right, I'll take one of everything.
Oh, that may take a little longer. We'll have it for you tomorrow night.
I'll be back tomorrow to pick it up.
We'll be waiting for you.
Another third down here, 3rd and short, 2:08 to go in the first quarter. Delta in 4-down territory, out of shotgun, roll out, and Lynch tries to cut back, and a big stop there by Mount Vernon for a loss of 3. Should bring up about a 4th and 5 here from the 48-yard line with under 2 minutes to go in this first quarter. And a nice push here by that defensive line for Mount Vernon to get the stop on 3rd down.
Yeah, great penetration really on the AB gaps and tackling there for a loss. Doesn't look like any punting going on. They're on the positive side of the field, but being in a position where it's 4th and 5. So see what they come up here. Haven't worked anything middle of the field yet, so obviously maybe be aware of that. But Blevins stays in, so you're thinking it could be potentially more of a pass.
We'll see if Blevins takes a step back to punt it. Nope, they will take a timeout and rethink it. We'll keep it right here. Mount Vernon defensively with the stop there on 3rd and 2 brings up a 4th down and 5. I don't mind Delta here going for it on a 4th and 5. Are you keeping it on the ground here, Craig, or are you going to go to the air?
Well,
because both have worked.
They have. And again, both of them are a little bit of a dual threats as well. Maybe not quite as much as you got. I think Blevins is a little bit more of the passer, Lynch a little bit more of the runner out of the two, but both of them have great pocket presence as well. But I think it's a situation, too, where, depending on with this timeout, do they come back with Blevins? Do you put Lynch in? Looks like they're punting. So that kind of puts that whole theory to rest. But certainly give Mount Vernon credit. They needed this, though. They needed to be able to get off the field and let their offense get the ball back.
Here's the punt on a high snap. Going to take a bounce just past the 30. And it's going to be picked up on the bounce to the 25-yard line. So a smart play there by Mason Meyer. Might have got the edge on the bounce nonetheless. Mount Vernon will start its second possession of this first quarter from the 25-yard line after going 3 and out on their opening possession.
Yeah, certainly more times than not, you're wanting your players to get away from that. Mason was coming up, took a really good bounce, and he probably saved another 8 or 10 yards by fielding that. But certainly in some ways a little bit dangerous, but one that's very confident, and he is a good runner. So pretty decent field position here starting at the 25. Looking for something a little bit more positive than what we had in the first possession with a 3 and out.
So let's see if Mount Vernon's defense that just held can shift that momentum over to the offense. They went 3 and out on their first drive. Minute 15 to go. Blitz comes, and Meyer's going to keep it. Gets across the line of scrimmage to about the 30, so a pickup of about 5, and you'll take that on first down. They get half of it. 2nd and 5 coming up. We want to thank Piper Logistics for more than 2 decades. The seasoned pros at Piper Logistics have been the trusted partners for inventory management, warehousing, fulfillment, and transportation. Ride with us. Call today, 317-396-1023. Clock ticks under 45 seconds. 2nd and 5. Meyer out of the gun. Looks right, stops, looks downfield, gets a block, plenty of room, pump fakes it, and is drugged down at about the 39-yard line. So enough for the first down, 1st and 10. Clock stops momentarily to move the change. We'll see if they want to get one more play in before the first quarter expires.
Well, that's what you'll get a lot with Lewis, getting him out of the pocket, and, that's what he can give you. And you saw he kind of waited the last moment. Certainly give Delta great credit there with the good coverage that made Mason do a little extra thinking, trying to uncertain with what he was going to do with the ball.
12 seconds to go. Meyer takes it, steps up, still looking downfield. Blitz comes, throws it out of bounds, incomplete. So the clock will run down to 5.3, so a 2nd down and 10. And you see the defense kind of hesitation there, right? Because they know that Meyer can throw the football. I think if you're Delta, you say, look, we're going to come after him. We saw a lot of hesitation there to see if he'd throw it. I think if you put more pressure on him, he'd have a chance to get in the backfield and get a sack. Delta's defense already has 1 sack here in this first quarter.
Well, it is one that you can want to pressure him, flush him out of the pocket, but you also got to do really well with protecting the edge and staying home and staying down too, because he's a guy that can not only pass, but if you flush him out of there, you got to be prepared for the run.
Last play of the first quarter is a delayed handoff back to the 40-yard line, and it will be a third down coming up to start the second quarter on IndianaSRN Delta by a touchdown.
A great lawn starts with the right equipment. At Reynolds Farm Equipment, we're here to help you make mowing easier and more enjoyable. From zero turns to lawn tractors, John Deere mowers give you the power, precision, and comfort to get the job done right. Plus, with expert service and support from Reynolds, you can spend less time worrying about your mower and more time enjoying the results. Reynolds Farm Equipment, your local John Deere dealer since 1955.
Looking to elevate your brand? Choose Dynamark, your local one-stop shop for all your print, signs, promo products, apparel, and mailing services. Serving Indianapolis for over 50 years. Dynamark, where strong relationships are built through exceptional service.
A quick first quarter here from Mount Vernon sees Delta with a 7-0 advantage. Mount Vernon on their second drive of the evening, and a third down and long coming up on 3rd and 9. Tony Donahue, Craig Cox with you here on IndianaSRN. We want to thank Nathaniel Finch for being here as our producer, Justin Thacker, giving us the great camera work. 3rd down, quick screen, caught at the 40, cuts back, gets past the 45-yard line. It'll be just short of a first down on a slow-moving play. Evan Privet with the catch takes it to the 46. It'll be a 4th and 3 decision time here for Mount Vernon.
Certainly a well-designed play, but one that he kind of went flat. Mason threw that out in front of him. It could have been a dangerous ball if that would have been read different by Delta, but nonetheless gets him some good positive ground here on 3rd for a manageable 4th. But they are going for this on their side of the 50.
Wait for the hard count. There it is. No jump. Almost good. Maybe they did get him.
That's the things that'll drive a coach a little crazy, but give them the automatic first down.
Yeah, you'll take the first down any way you can get it, especially in a first quarter where your offense was stagnant to get going. The 5-yard penalty enough for the first down. We see the jump here on 52 from Delta, and that pushes the football over the 50-yard line into plus territory, 1st and 10 from the 49. Roll out, Meyer, left side, tries to get the edge. He's pushed out of bounds.
Looks like they're going to give him maybe just 2 yards maybe.
So 2nd and 8 from the 47 with 11:05 to play in the first half. And the way that this game went so quickly in that first quarter, if you're Mount Vernon, you want to give your defense as much time on the sidelines as you can. And so far here, into the first quarter, into the start of the second quarter, Mount Vernon going on a nice little drive. You want to keep that rolling on a 2nd and 8 here from the 47-yard line. There, quick screen, caught, passes the line of scrimmage to the 40, tripped up. We'll see where forward progress takes him just past the 40-yard line for a pickup of 7. It'll be a 3rd down and short.
Well, you can tell the approach for Delta is and we've seen it. They've covered really well. They're making everything stay underneath. You also see from Mount Vernon's side, everything is at the line of scrimmage or behind, even when they're passing. So they're really at the place where they're content with keeping it underneath.
The Johnson catch enough for the first down after they respotted the ball, and a quick handoff here to Evan Privet. He picks up a nice little chunk on first down, so it'll be a 2nd down and 7 from the 36. But Mount Vernon's offense starting to find a little bit of a rhythm here in the second quarter.
Well, and Privet's a guy, he's averaging just a little over 40 yards a game on the ground. Obviously, their bigger guy is obviously with Crew Hampton that don't see in the game right now in the backfield. But they run 2 and 3 guys in that backfield and spread it around as well.
So it is Hampton in motion. And they'll look to throw it here. Meyer, quick pass to Hampton, caught at the 35, passes to the 32, I think, forward progress there. So a pickup of 4 to set up a 3rd down and short. Nice little pitch and catch there in rhythm for the Marauders. So a 3rd and 3 coming up. Brought to you by Dynamark. Choose Dynamark, your local one-stop shop for print signs, promo products, apparel, and mailing services. Serving Indy for over 50 years, Dynamark builds strong relationships through exceptional service. 317-328-2555. 3rd down and 3. Meyer keeps it the entire way, breaks out of 1 tackle. Trying to get the edge. He's hit and moves forward, maybe back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be a 4th down and short here. And it's decision time for Mount Vernon's offense.
Well, anytime you have a good runner like Lewis is, you got to be able to wrap the legs, and you can't really be in a position, not that you can't take him down by hitting him up high, but any runner that does a good job of keeping their legs going, you got to be able to wrap at that place. And so did a great job there of just getting a little bit of positive yards, maybe 1 out of that, where he was tackled probably by a loss of 5. But give Delta good pieces of getting good pursuit there, but for Lewis getting positive yards.
Morris joins Meyer in the backfield. He will take the pitch. It's fumbled and picked up by Delta. The blitz there from Delta. The timing was off, and it bounces off the turf. Great pursuit there defensively by Cole Minot, and it is picked up off the bounce off of the turf for the first turnover by Ryan Neal.
Well, he had great timing on. This is their leading tackler in Minot. But did a great job here off the edge and disrupting that play. The running back wasn't prepared to see a white jersey that quick, and it caused the turnover here.
So the first turnover of the game on what was Mount Vernon's best offensive possession here of this first half gives the football back to Delta on the 40-yard line. Man in motion. It's Deacon Blevins in the backfield. He'll look to throw it. Downfield. Open. Caught at the 30. 10. 5. Touchdown, Matt Morey. 60 yards.
Well, what great timing with that. It's one of the few times we've seen either of these quarterbacks go under center. But what a great executed play. Great timing route at that. And just putting him in stride, too. Threw that ball about 40, 35 yards in the air. And then you got a position where Scott just took, Morey just taking it to the house for the rest of the way.
Blevins' 3rd touchdown pass of the season. He's over 300 yards on the early year as Delta, after the turnover, takes a deep shot on 1st down. It is up and no good on the extra point. 13-0 on the 60-yard touchdown. Delta leads.
This is LifeWise Academy. It's a program that teaches Bible-based character education to public school students during school hours. Not before school and not after, but during school hours.
So here's how this works. The students will leave this school building, hop on this bus, take a short ride across the street to the church. I can see the steeple from here, have Bible class, hop back on the bus, head back to school. It's that simple.
Go to lifewise.org to find your school.
During Army basic training, I found out I had 7 herniated discs. Prescription pain medication led me to a heroin addiction. I entered Wheeler's program and learned life on God's terms.
After meeting Greg, I was so impressed, I hired him. When you change that one life, it makes it all worthwhile.
Now, I have a family, house, and a job that I love. At Wheeler, you can have something everlasting.
9:13 to play in the first half. Tony Donahue, Craig Cox with you. The best time to take a deep shot is off the turnover, and on 1st down, Craig, it's a 60-yard touchdown pass to Morey. 13-0 Delta.
No, well executed. Just love just the balance as we see the replay here. Give you a little it wasn't really a play action. Did a great job, obviously, of getting beyond that layer of defense. Obviously, DB's got to keep him underneath. But once he had some separation at that point, it was all on. And, again, Blevins did a great job of hitting him in stride and letting Morey do the rest of the work.
Let's bring it back to Mount Vernon. It was a drive that was 4th down before the turnover. They did get it going offensively via the air there, so we'll see as Mount Vernon's offense returns to the field, this time from the 20-yard line with Meyer in the backfield and a 4-wide set, man in motion from the slot. Meyer takes a snap, looks left, steps up. They're going to take a shot downfield, deep and incomplete, but a flag down, and it'll be a pass interference. So Mount Vernon says, you want to go deep? We'll try it as well. They'll get 15 via the flag.
Well, we talked about enough of these three quarterbacks from these two respective teams, can do things with their legs, but don't let us overlook what these guys can do out of the pocket. We saw it there with Blevins. You're seeing it with Lewis here as well, with Meyer. Yeah. And good actually coverage there, but just a little too tight as he reached with that outside shoulder, outside arm, if you will, and got a hold of him. Good call by the official. Gives them the automatic first down, but I like both these teams now stretching that last layer of the defense to keep them honest and just find better balance offensively.
So 15 yards on the penalty, 9 minutes to go, first half. Meyer keeps it. Shimmy shakes, kind of waits. Gets it past the 40-yard line for a pickup of about 7 on the first down run, so he's second and short coming up.
Well, and that's what Myers does. He's, like we said, he's very shifty, but he's also a patient runner, and you need that, obviously, to be able to find seams, allow blockers to get in front of you, but he's got good vision. He reads well. He finds his seams to get positive yards.
Second and short for Mount Vernon. They trail 13-0. Quick out route, caught, enough for the first down, into plus territory, and the biggest throw and catch of the evening for Mount Vernon goes for 24 yards and a first down.
Well, Mount Vernon's getting this at the right time. I mean, they needed it after that first drive. Second drive, started to see a little bit more, but then had the turnover with the disruption by Manette.
James Battie with the pitch and catch. So we see the replay here, and a nice throw to the right side. So down to the 40-yard line, and we're going to have a
roughing the
passer on top of it. So tack on, and Mount Vernon will find themselves right around the 28-yard line. And their best opportunity here to score in this first half coming via this drive. They'll mark it at the 25. First and 10. Three wide set, 3 in the backfield. Clarkson takes the handoff. No, it's a fake. Meyer keeps it, gets past the line of scrimmage for a pickup of a few, so it'll be a second down and 7.
Well, when the quarterback can confuse us, he's probably confusing them on the field too, right?
He sold that one.
Yes, he did.
I thought Clarkson had it.
Well, and there's so much pocket, activity that you get, obviously, with Meyer. And not only his reads, but what he's doing, his ability to get away and make guys miss.
He'll look to throw it here, but he's off to the races past the 20, 15, and he's taken out of bounds at the 9-yard line. So a first down on the 13-yard pickup. And Mount Vernon with their best opportunity to score points here tonight inside of the 10-yard line. They'll mark it at the 9 with 7:49 to play first half.
Yeah, Mason doing a great job of with his reads and the RPOs and getting his position to where he's actually getting to the edge, making plays and understanding and knowing as we see the replay here. Dropping back to pass, saw coverage, and he's making those quick instinctive decisions in a way that's actually benefiting his team.
Tip the cap to Levi Brown there with the block, allowing Meyer to get away. A delayed handoff here to the 5-yard line. That'll be a push, but I think forward progress will get him down to the 5. This time it is Deion Clarkson with the run on first down. And again, if you're Mount Vernon, I mean, you absolutely have to get 7 on this drive. Your opening drive was a 3-and-out. The second drive, you started to have a little bit of momentum before the fourth down turnover. And now on second and goal, aided by the penalty on the roughing the passer, they're at the 6-yard line. We're going to have a flag on the play. Looked like too much motion there on the...
Maybe an illegal shift, possibly. No, on defense.
Be
a little bit more. So, and, this is just such an important, you just mentioned how important it is to get a score here. But, with 7 minutes to go, if you can get a score, And then your defense came up, last time with a stop, you get one here, or the previous before the long touchdown. But if you can get a stop here, they get the ball to start the second half, and it's a brand new game.
Out of the gun, 2nd and goal, and we're going to have a timeout. It'll be charged by Mount Vernon. We'll take it with them. 2nd and goal coming up, 7:14 to go first half.
At Riskwork, we're Team Indiana through and through. From coaching youth basketball to protecting critical infrastructure. Like our partners at IndianaSRN, we invest in people first. That same grit and leadership on the court drives our work in cybersecurity. We help businesses stay secure, resilient, and ready with no guesswork. If you can trust us to protect the grid, you can surely trust us to protect your Indiana business.
It's game day, a time to focus on the excitement and not to worry about your insurance coverage. With Indiana Farmers Insurance by your side, you can step onto the field or into the bleachers with true peace of mind, knowing your coverage is handled by local agents who care about your business, your auto, your home, and your farm as much as you do. Local insurance, local agents, here for you. Now that's what we call teamwork.
Second and goal from the 3-man in motion. Mount Vernon trying to cut this lead in half. Meyer keeps it. He's tripped up from behind. It'll be short. It'll be 3rd down and goal here on IndianaSRN. Tony Lonnie, Craig Cox with you. Nathaniel Finch, our producer, Daniel Thacker, bringing you the great views here from Hancock Stadium in this Hoosier Heritage Conference showdown. And a big 3rd and goal here, under 7 minutes to go first half. This has to be 4-down territory if you don't get it on 3rd. In motion comes Privet. Quarterback keeper, and he stopped.
Get it.
Did not get it. Great pursuit there by Delta.
Coach Lighty's got a big decision here. Do you take the points? It's been rough for certainly didn't get much possessions, 3 downs. You got the whole first quarter.
Cole Minot right there gets into the backfield.
Going to really be interesting to see, but does not look like he's coming on for any 3-point try.
What do you want to see here? Maybe some misdirection, maybe get Meyer going one way, try to get a block?
Yeah, I think you have to get him out of the pocket and allow him to make decisions, whether it's with his arm or with his feet, whether it's pulling somebody out. But I think that you got to get him out of the pocket.
They'll go to the right here, tries to get the edge. It's a foot race, and he goes untouched for the touchdown. Halfway through the second quarter. And Mount Vernon on the board to cut it to 13-6 with 5:54 to play here in the first half. And a nice drive there capped off by the Meyer 1-yard touchdown run.
Well, it's not only one that they needed. Now you see how their defense can shore up, and whether it's you get the ball back or if it's in a position where you just get the ball to start the second and just stop a little bit of the bleeding, and they've done that here with this score. So great job by Meyer running high and wide as he could, making it tough for the defense.
Extra point is up, and it is through. 5:54 to go, first half. Mount Vernon on the board. They trail 13-7.
Did you know, according to the National Federation of High Schools, 80% of new officials quit the game after just 2 seasons because of abusive behavior from the stands and sidelines?
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Bertner Electric Incorporated provides professional commercial electrical contractor services to Indianapolis and surrounding communities. Locally owned and operated for over 30 years, our knowledge and experience make us the perfect choice for all your commercial electrical contractor needs. Contact us today.
A nice drive there, aided by a couple of defensive penalties. Sees a 1-yard touchdown run from Mason Meyer. His second rushing touchdown of the season, and Mount Vernon trailing 13-7 here. We'll take another look at it. after this is fielded by the up back. Plenty of space to the 45. Tries to get to the 50, and he'll go down to about the 48. So good field position here from Delta. But a big-time 4th and 1. They keep it in Meyer's hand, and he finds the end zone.
Yeah, again, getting high and I'm wide to stretch the defense, as we said earlier. A much-needed score. Now the defense has to step up. From a special team standpoint, after you get a stop and a score, certainly don't want to allow them what they did here on special teams by starting at midfield. Had a really good return by Backus. So just still on the negative side, but 2 yards away from changing that. And looks like we're going to get another timeout here potentially by Mount Vernon.
Yeah, Bro taking photos there from Delta, wanted nothing of it. Here's a look back at that kick return to about the 48-yard line. So Delta with a 6-point lead will start this possession from their own 48, 5:47 to go.
Well, if you're Coach Lynch, you want nothing more than what you kind of try to duplicate what you did in your first possession of the game, taking 7 or 6.5 minutes off the clock. Would love to do that again here with a score if you're the Delta Eagle community, but certainly one that you got to have a good stance here with Mount Vernon.
So 5:47 to go here in the first half. Risk work. We make people feel safe. We protect your business. You live safe. We've got it covered. Call Risk Work 317-379-6755. And we want to thank our friends at LIUNA. We're the Build America Union, 500,000 strong, fighting for better wages and benefits, safer job sites, and greater opportunities. We are LIUNA. 5:54 to go in a one-possession game. The defense of Mount Vernon here, Craig Cox, has stepped up over the last 2 possessions for the Marauders.
No, they have, and certainly nothing more than Coach Leidy and his defensive unit would certainly like to duplicate that now.
Little misdirection here, spins out of a tackle, stays on his feet, goes 3-on-1 to pick up of about 4 there, so 2nd down and 6, clock winds under 5:30.
Well, the tough thing there is you got to preach and talk about technique. There's too many guys just trying to reach and trying to make arm tackles, and there's not any shoulder, contact. You got to make the contact before you make the wrap. And so that's obviously something we saw even early on with Ryan Lynch. Broke 4 or 5 tackles to something in positive yards. Certainly should have been a loss there, but it's positive 4.
2nd down and 6. Out of shotgun comes Blevins. Looks under pressure. Gets out of the first tackle. Plenty of space. And turns a sack into a gain of 5 to set up a 3rd down and 1. Coming up here into plus territory goes Delta.
Well, and that's, again, we just talked about it on the last play there. Certainly should have been 5 or 6 yard loss, as you mentioned, with the sack, but turns into about 6 or 7 yard gain to make it 3rd and short here. So certainly some things that the Marauders going to have to shore up on, not only in the present, but certainly some adjustments and talks here at halftime as well.
So 4:30 to go. 3rd down and 1.
And likely a 4-down territory if they don't get this.
Quarterback keeper the entire way. Enough for the 1st down, and Blevins to the 40-yard line picks up 3.
Well, and these are the types of things, too. We talked about the ball control in the first possession, certainly trying to seek that here as well. Whether you certainly want points, but even if you don't, certainly don't want to give another possession to Mount Vernon, especially after they've kind of created some momentum with that last drive and getting their first score of the game.
Delta with 2 timeouts. Mount Vernon has used all 3 of theirs. 3:52 to go. And again, a very patient set here. You want to find the end zone when you can, but taking some ticks off of that clock isn't going to hurt either. Quick run here by Avon Thomas, and he gets half of it. It'll be a 2nd down and 5 coming up. 3:30 to go. And what was a very fast-moving first quarter, things have slowed down a little bit here in the second quarter as Delta is looking to take a 2-possession lead into halftime by scoring on this, their 4th possession of the night.
Well, and Thomas is a guy, too. Again, he's averaging about 90 yards a game on the ground. Very talented junior running back.
Quarterback keeper Gets the edge. Plenty of space. Meyer untouched for the second time the night, and he's drugged down at the 1-yard line. No horse collar tackle there. Looked like it was close. No penalty. Clock will stop on the first down, but Meyer, a great quarterback keeper there, gets it right down to the goal line.
Yeah, no, great run, great keeper. It was almost by design, if you will. And Lynch does a great job there of tucking the ball.
Yeah,
and
Lynch, my bad.
That's all right.
Yeah.
And finding the outside. But you're right. I think they
Meyer
kind of did miss.
It was Meyer on the touchdown-saving tackle.
Well, these both, you'll see, actually, it's going to come back.
Wow.
That's a – as much as it's a deal breaker as you have the long one, you also like, hey, there's still 3 minutes of the clock we'd like to burn too. But negated by the call, but they're still in good position from a field standpoint with 3 minutes to go. And but no, a play by design where you're seeing a little bit more heavy dosage of the Lynch when they're more design run plays.
So move the ball instead of the 1-yard line on the first and goal. It's going to be brought back to the 40 for a second down and 10, 3:04 to go. So still with an opportunity to take some time off the clock to not give it back to Mount Vernon in this half. But you certainly would have rather taken the first and goal from the 1.
Absolutely.
And
you're going to get something here too.
Yeah, I believe it's a false start, possibly. Looked like a little bit of a delay of game. Yeah, so they tried to get the snap off. Let's take a look at this block in the back here on the run, untouched. Craig, I'll let you dissect that one.
Yeah, it's kind of tough. I mean, it's a bang play right there at the point, but I don't know. But at the end of the day, the Stripes made that call, and the tough thing here is on this last penalty is you had to delay a game after a penalty.
Yeah.
So clock stop, you got to reset on the play clock. You certainly don't ever need that to happen, but to happen after a penalty is tough.
Instead of first and goal, it's second and a 15, and the throw to the left side goes off of the hands of Hill, so it'll be a 3rd and 15 from the 45-yard line. And if you're Mount Vernon, you're going, if we can get off the field without giving up points, we'll take it with 2:59 to play in the first half.
Oh, they're in a great position to be able to do that with a good amount of clock to work. I mean, Hill right there was one of those things, as Coach Lynch talked about earlier in the week when I was talking to him, is Hill is a guy on their team that he said they got to get the ball in his hands more, one of the more athletic guys on this team. But that's a clear case there where he was turning his head and he was more concerned about what he was getting ready to do with the ball before he ever possessed it.
Got to catch the football first. 3rd and 15 from the 45-yard line. This could be a momentum-shifting possession here if the Marauders can get off the field. Blevins throws it short, picked off. Intercepted by the Marauders at the 30-yard line. And what could have been a first and goal from the 1 is brought back by a block in the back, then a delay of game, an incomplete pass, and on 3rd down, the interception. And the momentum shifts over to the Marauders. Great defensive push here.
Well, just tried to finesse that way too much and had too much of touch on it. And, not only get the ball back and get a defensive stand, but you also probably gained about 15 or 20 yards if they would have been punting that.
Isaac Pleasant, the freshman, comes up with the interception. And with 2:53 to go and no timeouts, let's see what Mount Vernon can do. Out of shotgun. Meyer hands it off.
And mind you, if they can get something out of this, Tony, it's, they get the ball to start the second half. So it's kind of one of those double dippers, when you're trying to, not only get some type of score, minimum field goal, but certainly like the touchdown, but then to get the ball to start the second half, they're certainly not in a bad position, much better than how they were when this game started or at the end of the first quarter.
2:25 to go, 2nd and 5. Handoff, met at the line of scrimmage, keeps the legs churning. So it'll be a 3rd down and short. Delta, let's see if they elect to take a timeout here to keep some time on the clock. As of now, they won't.
And you got, and Mount Vernon has none left. They've already used all their timeouts, so time is of the essence for them. 2 minutes, still a lot to deal with.
Meyer goes quick on the keeper, and I believe that second push will get him past the sticks enough for a first down. So 2-minute drill here for Mount Vernon with no timeouts. You have to work the boundary Let's see what they can do from their own 41-yard line.
And the clock stops momentarily for the ball to be spotted and starts right back up. So this is where you got to have game management, time management. There's taking too long, in my opinion, here.
Yep.
You got to have your plays ready. You have to have the next one already ready, even if you have to call 2 at a time.
With T in motion, and I think we're going to have a jump here.
Yeah, so here's the thing here, Tony, too, is you're allowed 22 seconds to run off the clock. All right, and then you get a penalty. So it's really those types of things you got to shore up. Those are certainly week 1, week 2 things, maybe a little week 3, but when you're starting to get into what we are now in week 5, those are the types of things that you really have to minimize because when you're in week 7 and 8, you got to be rolling.
So 1st and 15 from the 36, minute 25 to go. Meyer takes a snap. Steps up. He's going to keep it. Plenty of room. Gets past 1 tackle to the 40. Gets a block upfield.
Might be a
cuts
flag.
back to the 47-yard line. Clock stops temporarily. Let's see if there's a flag on the play. So the clock stops to move the sticks.
You got to have this play ready. There's too much, downtime to be able to not have your play. I think you could get an illegal.
Is it a block in the back?
Blindside block. Yeah, blindside block. I figured that was happening. Saw it coming. Trying to do the right thing, but in that position, Mason was already beyond that defensive player, so it was certainly unnecessary. I know in the heat of the moment, you might not be aware of that. You're trying to signal out the defensive player and not so much aware of where your teammate might be, but that's a big one because that certainly would have put them in a position to where they would have had probably around the 40-yard line with a little over a minute to go.
Yeah, take it back to right around the 32-yard line on the 15-yard penalty. It'll be a 1st down and 21.
It's almost a 30-yard loss between the gain of the play and the penalty.
Clock will wind, and you want to stay in bounds here. I think if you're Mount Vernon, because you don't want to stop the clock. If you're Delta, maybe looking at taking a timeout.
I'm surprised we haven't seen one yet because if you can hold them. Well, this is just 2nd down. I'm sorry.
But, again, you take a timeout there with 59 seconds on the clock.
And then you have another one to take it on 3rd. Yeah.
Delta content to take a 6-point lead to the locker room. Mount Vernon go quick. Meyer trying to run out of trouble. Looks, and he's tackled down from behind for a sack out of bounds at the 34-yard line.
He's doing a good job of scooting out of the pocket, but he's also got to do a little better job of protecting that ball while he's running. The ball's outside, and he's got 2 guys on his back chasing. So got to understand about ball security there too, but nonetheless gets to the sideline to be able to stop the clock.
So a 3rd and long, 3rd and 17 from the 34. 36 seconds to go. I think if you're Delta here, if you can get a stop, maybe you've got 2 or 3 plays to get yourself into field goal range. Meyer rolling out under pressure, just throws it up, and it's going to bounce off the turf. Incomplete. So Mount Vernon let the punt. Delta will take over with 2 timeouts. I would imagine you play this based on what you get on the punt return as far as yardage.
Well, and they've shown their ability. They had a great opening punt return, and then the last kick return was really well after the Mount Vernon score, so see what happens here.
Takes a bounce backwards. It'll be down at the 37-yard line. 2 timeouts, 22.9. This is about where they were when they went 60 yards for that first play touchdown early in this second quarter.
Well, Coach Lynch is certainly an offensive-minded guy. If you can, get some separation there on the edge to be able to send somebody, certainly we'll have to keep that in mind, especially since they've already seen it, as you just mentioned. With 2 timeouts, might be able to get 10, 15 yards, work something over the middle, get your timeout, and then have the ability to take 1 or 2 cracks at the end zone.
So 1st and 10, Delta with 2 timeouts and the football. Mount Vernon will take it to start the 3rd quarter. Shotgun look. It's Lynch. Steps up, fires it deep. Up for grabs and incomplete. but the contact came late.
I don't know if the official saw something maybe on the trail hand from the defensive back with the left hand maybe on the shoulder pad, but other than that, the front side of it with his right knocking that down looked well.
We get a little – he hits some of the back there.
That's a really tough call. Actually, the the receiver caught the flag.
Yeah.
Missed the ball but caught the flag. But, they get their 15 here, and you still save your timeout here, Tony. You can work the middle of the field or the sideline either way. You're not limited, I should say, just to the sideline with 2 timeouts. I just really think that was a good defensive play.
Yeah, it looked like he might have had the right arm. Yeah, I think it was – I think the timing of it looked right. It didn't look like he was there early. Nonetheless, it's 15 yards, 15.3 seconds to go, 2 timeouts. Lynch. It's a slow snap.
Oh, yeah, that hurts.
He tries
timing.
to make something out of nothing and will have a hold. So this one's going to be coming back anyway with 7 seconds to go. Looks like a hold.
And you lose a lot of the valuable time. I've been impressed with Ryan, Lynch, just his ability to make guys miss.
Oh, it's going to be on Delta.
Does a really good job.
On Mount Vernon. So that's big. So they're going to mark it at the 40 with 6 seconds to go, and then the penalty. So tack on a few more yards. You're at the 36, Craig, with 1. Well, the clock's running. Shouldn't be.
Yeah, they got to change that back to, what was it, 6.8? Is that, or 6 even?
Well, if you're Delta, you take the timeout, correct?
Oh,
that should be automatic.
You can run, a 6-8 yard. Their kickers, got a little bit of leg.
Yeah, but here you take the timeout, right? Yeah, which would stop the clock with 6. Quick short out, maybe. Then go down immediately. Take the knee immediately on the catch.
Yeah, that or work middle of the field. I mean, you like I said, you can run something every bit of 7-8 yards and still have a couple seconds left here. You get to the 27. It's be about a 40-yard field goal, so it might be a little bit of distance, but certainly gives you a crack at it. You don't have time to run one to the end zone here and have a time for a second play, but certainly running 6 to 8 yards and then taking a crack to the end zone, certainly it would be something to look for.
And I think if you're Mount Vernon here, you don't want to jump. You don't want to give them a free play to throw something up deep. And if you're Mount Vernon and you could survive this and go to the locker room down 6, you'll take it. So 6 seconds to go. Delta does have 1 timeout. They have also missed an extra point tonight. That was on the second PA attempt. We'll see if they try to go short to pick up 5 or 6 yards to set up a field goal. Or maybe they throw it deep. It's Ryan Lynch in the backfield. 4 wide set. They'll throw it deep. Lynch up for grabs and incomplete. And time has expired in this first half. So Mount Vernon defensively holds in the second quarter. And at halftime, Delta leads 13-7. Tony Donahue, Craig Cox with you. And again, this is a Mount Vernon squad coming in at 0-4. They find themselves down 13-0 early in the second quarter. They get a touchdown. They keep Delta off of the scoreboard there late in that second quarter. And Delta takes a 13-7 lead into halftime. Mount Vernon will have the football to start the second half. And Craig, real quick, I mean, you have to like defensively what we saw at Mount Vernon after giving up those quick 13 points.
No, you did. They regrouped well, I think. And some of that can also look at, hey, what did the offense do that propelled the defense to be able to kind of get hyped up a bit more? So they basically carried on what they saw in that drive with Mount Vernon getting on the board for the first time. And I think it played its way onto the other side of the ball.
So Delta, 13-7 leaders, 1-3 on the season. And we saw both Deacon Blevins and Ryan Lynch in there offensively for Delta. Ryan Lynch had the 7-yard touchdown run, which got things started. That was a 61-yard drive that took half of the first quarter. And then Morey on the first down after the turnover goes for the 60-yard TD pass to make it 13-0. But then Meyer answered right back as Mount Vernon goes on a 7-play, 47-yard drive to make it 13-7 in favor of Delta. And as we talked about, to start this game, Craig, we thought maybe Delta going up 13-0, that was it. But credit Mount Vernon's defense for stepping up, as mentioned.
No, I had back-to-back stops, and like we mentioned, the score. And to start the second half and getting the ball, it certainly, just with their score alone, made it a new game. But certainly how they'll regroup here, make their adjustments, both these teams, and see what the second half plays out here at Hancock Stadium.
And really the turnover, the difference, as Mount Vernon turns it over on fourth down. The very next play, or on third down, the very next play, Delta goes for a 60-yard touchdown. We'll have more halftime here from Hancock Stadium. Delta 13, Mount Vernon 7 on IndianaSRN.
This is your IHSAA.
High school sports offer the best opportunities to represent your community and yourself.
Playing alongside your friends and in front of your family makes it that much more important, no matter the circumstances or the setting.
Honor your teammates, fans, and opponents with your best effort.
Make sure those around you are doing the same.
Be supportive and aware of your surroundings.
Enjoy every minute of practice, preparation, and playing.
Your conduct, actions, and character are a reflection of your sportsmanship values.
Do not allow winning and losing to prevent you from respecting your opponent,
respecting the game, and representing your community.
With good sportsmanship, winning takes care of itself.
You may not remember the game or the final score, but you will remember your teammates and your opponents.
Be remembered for being a good sport.
Sportsmanship makes high school sports so very different from any other level of sport.
Being a good sport means always respecting your opponent by playing hard, respecting the game by honoring the rules, and respecting yourself by giving your best effort at all times.
That is true sportsmanship.
Be remembered for exhibiting the qualities of a winner and display good sportsmanship. This message is brought to you by the IHSAA Student Advisory Committee.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Hello and welcome to Game Day. My name is Keith Myers. I'm the Vice President of IndianaSRN. We're glad that you joined us today. If you'd like to see more content just like tonight, just hit the donate button. Every dollar that you donate will go right back into more games right here on IndianaSRN. This means more games for you. It's IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
Your business depends on quality, efficiency, and reliability. At Reynolds Farm Equipment, we help you stay ahead with John Deere commercial mowers built for performance. Whether you're maintaining parks, businesses, or neighborhood lawns, you need equipment that works as hard as you do. With expert service, flexible financing, and the best lineup of mowers in the industry, Reynolds keeps your operation running strong. Reynolds Farm Equipment, your local John Deere dealer since 1955.
We welcome you back. Halftime, Delta 13-7 over Mount Vernon in a back-and-forth first half from Hancock Stadium as Billy Lynch in his first season at the helm for Delta looks for the second win of the season. Mount Vernon trailed 13-0 in that first half. Touchdown late makes it 13-7. So I got a great second half coming up for you here on Indiana SRN homecoming night for Mount Vernon. You want to win on your homecoming evening, and right now they trail 13-7. Let's bring you back here. Tony Donahue with you, and we got some great things to talk about. Mike Lima from Wheeler Mission. Great to have you. We've loved this partnership here with Wheeler Mission. Let's just start by talking about how important Wheeler Mission is to the city of Indianapolis.
Oh, it's unbelievable how important Wheeler Mission is to the city. We house about 60% of the unhoused people that are being picked up by various organizations in the downtown area and throughout, greater Indianapolis area.
And some great events coming up for Wheeler Mission, especially the Drumstick Dash. That's a huge fundraiser for you for Wheeler Mission. Talk about that big day and other fundraising opportunities that people can get involved with to help out Wheeler Mission.
Drumstick Dash is huge for us. It is our primary community fundraiser throughout the year, raises millions of dollars over the course of its existence. But tomorrow you can get in on the Strength in the Streets event over at Park Tudor. That's at, let me check the address here, 7200 North College.
Yep.
That's still going on. That's just about topping out at about $200,000 being raised to take care of people who are facing homelessness.
I had Hardee's for dinner, so I'm not going to be a part of that competition. But talk about that kind of outside-the-box thinking to raise awareness and raise money for Wheeler Mission.
It's really the way to go. People, the giving platform and landscape has changed a lot in the last handful of years. But if we can get somebody out to an event, not only can we spend time with them, we can display what we're doing, we can tell them stories about changed lives that we interact with, and they get to participate in something fun. And who doesn't like to get outside?
You're a Green Bay guy, big Packer fan. What got you to Indianapolis? How long you been with Wheeler Mission? And talk about what your day-to-day, weekly looks like in your role at Wheeler Mission.
Right on. So we'll start with what brought me down to Indianapolis. My son, he had a ministry appointment here on the west side of Avon, and he took our grandchildren away from us. And
that'll move you.
It did. Being a minister, my family ourselves, we knew how hard it was to raise our kids without family support. So we talked to the kids about it, see if they were okay with it. They were great with it. We up and moved. I bounced around to a couple of different positions in the area, taking care of senior citizens and helping them with insurance plans and housing. And then I found myself looking for a job last year, just about this time, and found Wheeler Mission. It was really kind of by accident, but honestly, the minute we started talking to each other and interviews started, it was home.
Talk
the
about
right place to be.
That home life, right? There's a lot of people that go to Wheeler Mission that are looking for hope, that are looking to change their lives. How rewarding is it for you to be able to be a part of that journey, usually to recovery, whatever it is, Wheeler Mission-wise, but to be a part of that and what Wheeler Mission can bring to somebody who checks themselves in?
Yeah, absolutely. I've had a lot of jobs, a lot of ministry jobs. I've done everything from crisis intervention to drug rehab, inner city, rural poor, police force chaplain. I've never worked anywhere quite like Wheeler. It is a fantastic place. The amount of hope and healing we bring to people coming in off the streets looking for anything, just a leg up, just a hand up to get back on their feet. And then as a ministry organization, being able to bring the gospel to them and lift them up through that it's the best place I've ever been.
And talk about your locations, not just downtown, but there are locations around the city for those maybe looking to find the help that they certainly need.
Absolutely. Well, downtown we get the men's emergency shelter over on Market, and then our admin and our men's resource center over on Delaware. But we also have the women's center out on the east side of town, Women and Children's Center, the CWC. But south of town, we have our two facilities down in Bloomington. We have another men's emergency shelter that runs some programming for the recovery for the guys, but we also have Camp Hunt, which does our addictions recovery. That has a fantastic success rate. They house they're clocking in at fewer than about 50 guys right now, but they have a great time with the guys, a lot of life transformation down there. About half of my staff is camp graduates, program graduates who come back and then engage in serving new guests who arrive.
And this is 365 days a year. This doesn't
never
stop.
Stops.
Talk
Never
about the
stops.
commitment from the employees that we'll see at Wheeler Mission.
Oh, it's huge. Obviously we're a donation funded place, so nobody's getting rich working at Wheeler, but we don't come for the cash. We come because it's ministry. We come because we care. We get to work at Wheeler. And so we have round-the-clock ministry. It's 24/7 with these guys. We're constantly dealing with people who are facing addiction crises, mental health crises. obviously just life has taken a swing at them and knocked them down, and we're there to lift them back up and give them the love of Christ.
For somebody listening right now at halftime of this contest, how can people get involved to help out the ministry and everything going on at Wheeler Mission to help out your guys' cause?
So first and foremost, because we're a Christ-centered organization, we very much believe in the power of prayer. It moves mountains for us. Knowing that the people out there are praying for us, they're engaging with us in that way is massive. Secondly, there are the more practical things. You can come to one of the facilities, you can serve, you can help take care of the guys during the meal, you can bring donations of clothing, toiletries, all of those things, sheets, bedding, all that stuff we can put to very practical use, and then get involved in the stuff that we have. Bring awareness to the outside events like Strength in the Streets in the Drumstick Dash. Even if you're not a big runner, you probably know people who are, and just push them that way and encourage them to it's not just for a ministry. It's for these guys. We are definitely helping the people on the street. So
it's been over 125 years, 1893, I believe. Wheeler Mission's been helping people here in Indianapolis. Give people the website, and once again, let people know how they can get involved with what you guys are doing at Wheeler Mission.
Right on. It's wheelermission.org. It's pretty easy to find, and Google search of us turns us right up. And then there's a ton of ways on the website you can get involved. You can get involved in everything from the donations, like I said, to the events, or take a tour. Come down and actually see what we're doing. It'll change your life.
Mike Lima, thanks so much for being with us here on a Friday night as we talk about Wheeler Mission, a great partnership that we have with you guys, and we'll continue to. We were talking about it last week. We're almost a little over 2 months before that Drumstick Dash. So
it's right there.
It'll be here before we know it, and that's obviously a great weekend that culminates in the IHSAA State Football Championships as well on Friday and Saturday. So thanks for being here. We appreciate everything that Wheeler Mission does for our city here of Indianapolis.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Second half coming up. It is Delta with a 13-7 lead over Mount Vernon on IndianaSRN.
IndianaSRN wants to put more kids on TV. And honestly, that's exactly what these kids deserve. They stream more than 350 high school and college games every year, giving Indiana athletes the spotlight they've earned. All games are free to watch with on-demand on their YouTube channel. The cost is amazingly affordable, which means more kids get their moment to shine. IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Big play here for Mount Vernon. Ertl looking right, now over the middle, fires, and it's in there for a touchdown. What a throw.
Boy, what a stick, huh?
Side out, back to the middle, and guess what? You want a point on the other side, you go to Taylor Lewis.
Here's Freeman. Has an opening shot. Score!
Stafford around a screen. Skip pass. Mays with 3. Mays drive. Floater up and in at the horn.
Hand off, and nice hole over the near side. 40, 35, 30. Block to the outside. 20, 15, 10, 5, and touchdown. And that's a big one right there. And finally, somebody gets on the board.
We want to thank Mike Lima for being with us here this evening on a Friday night of high school football on IndianaSRN from Wheeler, Michigan, wheelermission.org. How you can volunteer and help out the great cause that is Wheeler Mission for over 125 years here in Indianapolis. Tony Donahue, Craig Cox with you at halftime. Hancock Stadium in this Hoosier Heritage Conference Showdown. Delta with a 13-7 lead. Craig, give us some more scores from around Central Indiana.
Obviously, week 5, kicking off halfway through it here in our game. The other one, IndianaSRN, where you have front row seat, is Cecina and Covenant, where Covenant's leading that contest 14-10. Lebanon leading McCutcheon 13-7. Carmel blanking out Columbus North 21-0 right now, as is Lawrence North 14-0 over Tech. And we keep rolling with the shutouts right now. Brownsburg, big matchup actually, number 1 6A against number 6 6A Fishers, but Brownsburg all over the Tigers 28-0. Chittard, our other game that we're bringing to you, 16-6, where Chittard leads that one over Brebeuf. Franklin Central over Avon, that's a little bit of a surprise, 10-0 right now. Got a close one, 16-14, where Ben Davis is leading Warren Central. Westfield is down 1 to HSE 7-6. Zionsville blanking out Noblesville. The last update we had 10-0, as is the Royals of Roncalli blanking out Guerin Catholic right now, 28-0.
Another blanking going on. Cathedral at the end of the first quarter leads Southport 37-0. So there is a running clock the rest of the way down in Southport. Tony Donahue, Craig Cox with you here on Indiana SRN. Delta gets off to a 13-0 lead in this one and had an opportunity to go up more, but Mount Vernon's defense has stepped up. They overcame a turnover, got a touchdown on a Meyer 1-yard run to cut it to 13-7 in that second quarter. This one's up for grabs here. We thought Delta early on had the advantage, but Mount Vernon has taken that momentum back in the second quarter. They trail by 6 and will get the football to start the second half.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where Delta got the ball, chewed up a little over 50% of the first quarter with their one possession and marched right down and scored, and then had a stop on Mount Vernon struggled on their first possession. And then Mount Vernon got a stop, and then Delta scored again. But the Mount Vernon's come up strong. The last two defensive stands were able to hold off there at the end. Here we are at 13-7 with them receiving the kick here to start the second half. So it's homecoming night, obviously with good festivities going on here on the campus of Mount Vernon in Fortville, Indiana.
Yeah, we talk about Mount Vernon, Mason Meyer, obviously the dual threat quarterback, and you think about an opportunity to score. They got it down to the 1-yard line, but it was brought back via the penalty, and then Delta got the football back with just under 2 minutes to play in that first half. Delta, a team that went up 13-0 in this game. The opening drive was 61 yards. It took over 6 minutes in that first quarter and ended in a Lynch 7-yard touchdown run. They answered that with a 60-yard TD pass on 1st and 10 after the turnover on the blotched pitch, which was recovered on the fumble by Delta, but then an answer from Mount Vernon to cut it to 13-7. What's Mount Vernon have to do in this second half to get their first win of the season?
Well, I think it's much what they did here in the back half of that second quarter. I mean, it's got to start with defensive stops. You got to neutralize what Delta has been throwing at them with good balance. So I think it's got to start defensively with them. And then I think, you got to continue to do what you do and who you are in terms of offensively by getting Mason Myers out of the pocket to where he simply just does what he does in terms of his reads. He can throw the ball down the field, but he's more that guy that's going to hit more of the middle of the field. But you got to get him out of the pocket where he's most dangerous.
Yeah, and here's the third and 1 stop on the fumble, and then the ensuing play goes over the top to Morey for the 60-yard touchdown. And then it was answered here by the 1-yard touchdown run on a 4th and 1, mind you, from Mason Meyer to cut this to 13-7. So a great job here by Nathaniel giving us some highlights. But as you mentioned, defensively, even on both sides, I mean, we're 5 weeks into this. You have to be able to wrap up and make that tackle. We've seen both teams get extra yards after that first initial contact as we see the interception here.
Yeah, no, I think it's been certainly more of that with Mount Vernon on some of the missed tackles or assignments in terms of technique than it has been Delta. But I think Delta's probably gotten a good 60 total yards throughout the first half just on yards after contact. So I think it's one of those things that, that has to be shored up on, spoken about here at halftime, see what adjustments both these two teams make as we get ready to close out the half here to bring you the second.
13-7 at recess. Second half coming up on IndianaSRN.
This is LifeWise Academy. It's a program that teaches Bible-based character education to public school students during school hours. Not before school and not after, but during school hours.
So here's how this works. The students will leave this school building, hop on this bus, take a short ride across the street to the church. I can see the steeple from here, have Bible class, hop back on the bus, head back to school. It's that simple.
Go to lifewise.org to find your school.
Hey, thanks for joining us tonight. We consider it a privilege to have you as one of our listeners and viewers. If you'd like to see more content just like tonight, just hit the donate button. Every dollar that you donate will go right back into more games right here on IndianaSRN, which means more games for you. It's IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
This is the hotel breakfast.
It looked different online.
Do you children like eggs? Here, they make your bones grow.
It'll be fine. It's gonna be fine. All right, guys. Look alive.
Is it fine, Daryl?
I'm starving.
When free hot breakfast can make or break your day, it matters where you stay.
Go get him.
Hampton by Hilton. Hilton for the...
Turn it on to you, Craig Cox with you here from Hancock Stadium. This Hoosier Heritage Conference battle between Delta and Mount Vernon. Delta with a 13-7 lead. They got off to a 13-0 start. Mount Vernon scores in the second quarter and will have the football to start the second half. What do you want to see offensively here from Mount Vernon on this opening drive of the second half?
Well, they're going to go again as Mason Myers goes, and certainly you don't want to try to over-focus on one player, but he's certainly the wheels that gets things going offensively for them. I think the other thing is down in the trenches. I mean, if you're Mount Vernon, if they can give him a little bit more time to protect, Delta's had a little bit of presence in the backfield that makes it a little bit tougher on him to get the job done that the Marauders need.
Daniel Thacker with some great pictures tonight. Nathaniel Finch, thanks for the highlights at halftime. Mount Vernon looking for their first win of the season. They are 0-4 to start the year. Billy Lynch and the Delta Eagles are 1-3 and are set to kick it off to start this second half rivalry night and prom night. Here from Mount Vernon, the Marauders trailing, as mentioned, 13-7. Ryan Lynch, Deacon Blevins for Delta offensively have moved the football. They had that 60-yard pitch and catch to Moore. They made it 13-0. But what started in the first quarter as Delta not looking great on defense, neither did Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon certainly stepped it up and held Delta scoreless for the final 11 minutes of that first half. Meyer returns it from about the 2, and he's uplifted at the 20-yard line. So doesn't gain anything on what would have been possibly a touchback if that would have bounced into the end zone. You have to go 80 yards to start this drive if you want to find the end zone for Mount Vernon. So the Marauders, 0-4 in the year. Mason Meyer, dual threat quarterback, back in. Out of shotgun, 4 wide set. Quick throw and off of the hands of the intended target. And a little pitch and catch there to try to get a couple yards on first down. Falls incomplete as this one goes off the hands of Brenton Johnson.
Well, certainly one you got to have here. Certainly executed it what appeared to be pretty well. Had the inside leverage. Ball looked to be thrown well, hit him right in the numbers, and just didn't come up with the play.
Battie in the backfield. Meyer out of gun. Looks again, this one, a fade route down the sideline, bounces around, and incomplete. Threw it into double coverage, and that ball was just slightly thrown behind the intended target.
Yeah, needed about 2 or 3 more yards, and an outside shoulder to the sideline, but not bad. And certainly you see right away they're testing a little bit more through the air. But here's the tough thing. I mean, you're 16 seconds in to your possession. and at 3rd and 10. So right where Delta wants you to be. See what Mount Vernon might be able to do to convert this, to keep these chains moving and the drive as well.
They're going to go 4 wide. 3rd play of the drive. Throws across the middle, deflected and incomplete. Had an opportunity, Delta did there, to pick that one off. Nonetheless, they get off the field, does the defense of Delta, on a 3-and-out that just took 21 seconds. And I think you want this back if you're Delta's D, an opportunity to pick that off. Nonetheless, a 3rd down stop, and Delta will see the football for the first time here in this second half.
Well, it's the first possession that we've seen for Mount Vernon to run 3 pass plays.
A couple blocks here, passes the 50-yard line, and it'll be good field position at the 41 for Delta. So a 3-and-out on 3 straight incompletions, 1 that should have been caught, 2 that probably should have been intercepted. Nonetheless, Delta gets the football. It's only a net of about 21 yards after the return. So Delta, 13-7 leaders, 11:28 to go here in this 3rd quarter, will take over their first possession of the second half.
Well, you got to give credit here to Delta, too. I mean, throughout the night, just not on that return, but their special teams has done a really good job on the 2 kickoffs to start the game and after Mount Vernon score, but also on the 3 punts that they've had. Really have shown some great ability to get good field position.
Let's see if they'll maybe take a shot here. They'll go with the screen pass, caught at the 40 to the 35, and he's going to be awkwardly drugged to the turf. A little bit limpy there on a 1st down catch is Carter Jackson.
Well, and
he's going to come out, but a pickup of 12.
Yeah, and he's their leading receiver, there on the outside. He's got, not huge numbers because, again, they find great balance. They spread it around pretty well. But he's averaging about 80 yards a game. He's got a couple touchdowns on the year. Kind of came up kind of an odd tackle. Looked like it could have been possibly a face mask, but came up a little gingerly.
1st down from the 29. Hill in motion. They'll fake it to him, and they will hand it off in the backfield, off to the races, and into the red zone goes Thomas on the pickup of about 17, and a 1st and goal here for Delta.
Well, he's a good-looking back, built really well. But look at the acceleration Tony hits. When he hits the line of scrimmage, he's 85% of his speed already. So really ran really good hitting the seam, but really downhill at that. So impressive with 2 plays here. 1 to Jackson on the outside, and Avon Thomas with a great pickup here. That puts him inside the red zone.
Watch Maury 1-on-1 top of your screen as Deacon Blevins checks in. He fakes it, then hands it off. Spin out of the backfield to the 5-yard line. And a pickup there of 7 yards by Carter Jackson. And this was Mount Vernon that came out defensively, had back-to-back stops in the 2nd quarter, got a touchdown offensively to make this a 13-7 game. Had an opportunity coming out of the locker room, but a big stop by the Delta defense on a 3-and-out, and now they're threatening to score to make this a 2-possession game.
Well, something about the first possession of each half, because this is what it kind of looked like to start the game. Doing it a little quicker than what they did the first one, but their ability to be explosive, they certainly are showing that.
Handoff, lowering the shoulder to right at the goal line, stopped just short, is Thomas. But it's enough for the 1st down, so it will be a 1st and goal from the 1.
That's Thomas, a junior, 5'9", 170, runs with reckless abandon. But you showed the not only the downhill ability 2 plays ago, but also the last play. You're seeing him being light on his feet and being able to get the spin and create what could have been a loss for about a 5-6 yard gain, and then kind of seeing more of the power on that last run.
Thomas in the backfield, 2 touchdowns on the season. It's going to be a quarterback keeper by Deacon Blevins. We'll wait for the call.
Signal, but it certainly looks like he's in.
And I think he's just short. I think he is
they
just
do have
short. So 2nd down and goal.
I look for the same call. What I don't like when you get in those situations is where you hand the ball off 5 yards deep in order to get 1 foot. So just to run your quarterback sneak, go under center. You're in a position where you got 2 more downs to do that, 3 if you actually need them, but don't want to see anything else other than that. But they go on in shotgun formation, which
Blevins has it, hands it, and into the end zone goes number 24, Avon Thomas. That is his Third touchdown of the season, and a quick answer after the 3-and-out for the Mount Vernon offense, and Delta with a 2-possession lead, 19-7, extra point pending.
Well, just power game right here. It's one of those things where this is what you want. If you're Delta, kind of reestablish what you had in the not only the first possession, but really the first quarter and a half. Mount Vernon kind of won the second half of the second quarter. And here's your extra point attempt.
Extra point is up, and this one is no good once again. 19-7. It's a 12-point lead for Delta on IndianaSRN.
Poached egg on avocado toast.
Ew.
Your flash fried porgy over chips.
Ew.
Your fresh Maine lobster with microgreens.
When the only thing your 8-year-old will eat is waffles.
She's fine. She's fine. Your waffles, milady.
It matters where you stay.
Yum. Enjoy. Thank you.
Hampton by Hilton. Hilton for the stay.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'd like to order a hamburger, fries, salt, maybe a large vanilla shake.
This is a trophy shop, can't you tell?
You got carry out?
Everything that you need, we have here at the shop. Very unique. You order today, carry out tonight. That's our version of carry out.
All right, I'll take one of everything.
Well, that may take a little longer. We'll have it for you tomorrow night.
I'll be back tomorrow to pick it up.
We'll be waiting for you.
We're back. Third quarter action, 19-7 with 8:44 to go. And Delta's defense gets Mount Vernon off of the field on the opening possession of the second half and then turns it into a touchdown drive. 41 yards, and Thomas goes in for the score, 19-7 after the extra point was missed, Craig.
Well, and he missed it in the same way that he did there in the first quarter as well. I was a little surprised they didn't go for two there. Don't really have, really too much to lose because it's still a 2-possession touchdown game at that point. So, but nonetheless, tried an attempt and failed on that one. So we'll see how the defense does, and furthermore, if Mount Vernon got to do something a little different than they did. 21 seconds in that first possession.
1st and 10, ball on their own 20-yard line. It'll be a keeper. Meyer tries to get the edge, cuts back, lowers a shoulder, breaks a few tackles for a pickup of 5. At Officially Human, our mission is to restore respect for game officials and recognize them as authorities on the field and court. Do your part. Practice good sportsmanship. No officials, no game.
Mount Vernon player down. Looks like he's grabbing his lower left leg. Don't know if that's a cramp.
And on a night like tonight where it's I would
warm.
say seasonally warm, they'll have to put a couple seconds, I think, back on the clock there.
Oh, no, a guy came down on him.
Yep.
52 from Delta came right down on the back of his leg. Looks like he's coming off under his own power, but with a noticeable limp. But, yeah, that's always when you get rolled up on, always tough and certainly hardest on your linemen, those that are in the trenches. So 2nd down and 4 here. Myers out of the shotgun.
4 wide set, they'll look to throw. Steps up, fires it downfield, one-on-one coverage, and just slightly overthrown, incomplete. So on 2nd and 4.
They certainly have continued to show. I mean, you came out in that first series, which, again, you only have for 21 seconds, but it was so short because they were incomplete and they were all 3 passes. But come out here as well and thrown again. So brings up 3rd and 4. And, again, have only had the ball for about 30 seconds on this possession.
3 wide set. Delta shows blitz. Handoff. Met immediately at the line of scrimmage and pushed back. So a nice job there by the Delta Eagles on the push on 3rd down. That'll force Mount Vernon into a punt in the shadows of their own end zone. So that early first quarter momentum from Delta, which was taken away by Mount Vernon in the second quarter, they picked it back up here in the third. Already a score, and the second 3-and-out that the Delta Eagles defense has forced.
And should have good field position here. Last time got a real favorable bounce on the punt. See what happens here.
Caught at the 40, breaks out of 1 tackle, cuts back, keeps the feet churning, and to the 48-yard line is where they will start after the 8-yard return by Avon Thomas. We saw a heavy dose of Avon Thomas on the last drive for Delta, which led to that 2-yard touchdown run.
We'll see how much they can get back. It's been more of a passing attack on this, said that opposite, but a little bit more of a run attack that they had on the last possession that scored pretty quickly on, opened up the drive with a pass, and then had 5 straight runs.
So Blevins is in, out of shotgun. Blockers to the right. Quick screen pass, caught at the 45, passes midfield and gets out of bounds at the 47-yard line. So nice little pitch and catch there. Flip the 47s and a pickup of 7.
Yeah, an identical play to how they started the last possession on the quick out. It was to Carter Jackson, but same exact route and play. And see what they get here after getting about 6. Give him 6 on the pass.
2nd and 4. Clock stops with the out of bounds.
You do see Jackson out there again in the slot, so good to see him back out there after getting banged up on the last possession.
This time it's Lynch. He'll hand it off to Thomas, spins out of 1 tackle, and gets right to the sticks. They're going to mark him just shy. So a 3rd and inches coming up here for Delta.
Yeah, it certainly appeared at first where he's coming down that he had it, but looks just inches. Here comes Lynch into the game. Look for him to potentially be under center again for another sneak to just move these chains and get him a new set of downs.
Yeah, look for the keeper here, maybe a misdirection, although Thomas has gotten the ball a lot here in the second half and has been able to stay ahead of the chains. Mount Vernon shows blitz. Keeper on a delay keeper and enough for 2 yards and a first down. Ryan Lynch gets it to move the sticks. Delta looking for the end zone for the second time here in this second half. Mount Vernon's defense needing a stop that they got in a very similar position. They found themselves down 13 in that first half, and their defense picked up their offense, which led to a long drive for Mount Vernon, which led to points. But since then, it's been Delta, especially here in this second half, already with a score on the board, leading 19-7. 1st and 10, 6:12 to go. Screen pass, caught. Hill lowers the shoulder, hit hard, and to the 40-yard line he goes. So all that just for a pickup of 2.
Well, just trying to get some on the outside edge. Kind of lost a little bit of leverage on the block from your other receiver there that allowed the Marauders to have a little better pursuit than I'm sure Coach Lynch would like. But again, it's positive yards, 2nd and long here, but definitely manageable.
Family Source Insurance. Pat Cherry is your independent agent, proudly representing Ohio Mutual Insurance. Call them today, 317-894-7000. 2nd down and 8. Clock continues to run. Under 5.5 to go, 3rd quarter on IndianaSRN. Hard count. Blevins looks over. Takes the snap, hands it off. Thomas, nice burst out of the backfield again. Be about a pickup of 8. We've got a few players on top of each other. Both get up. It'll be a 3rd down and 1 from the 33-yard line as Deacon Blevins will check back in. Catch you up on some other scores here shortly, as Delta will look for their 23rd win in this rivalry between Delta and Mount Vernon. Blevins handoff. And Thomas off to the races. Cuts back to the end zone. Touchdown! And Delta taking a 25-7 lead on the 34-yard touchdown run by Thomas, his 2nd of the night.
I'll tell you, I really like this young kid. He's a junior, but I love his patience. I love his footwork, vision. Really does a great job here. He's hitting the hole. I love his acceleration of hitting a seam. but does a really good job of following his block, as you see there, and then bouncing to the outside. Really good looking back that can kind of hit you with some finesse and hit you with a power. Really like that.
Yeah, uses a stiff arm there to break out of a would-be tackle and takes it to the house. Extra point. This one is up, and this one is good. 4:33 to go. Delta taking over. They lead 26-7.
A great lawn starts with the right equipment. At Reynolds Farm Equipment, we're here to help you make mowing easier and more enjoyable. From zero turns to lawn tractors, John Deere mowers give you the power, precision, and comfort to get the job done right. Plus, with expert service and support from Reynolds, you can spend less time worrying about your mower and more time enjoying the results. Reynolds Farm Equipment, your local John Deere dealer since 1955.
Looking to elevate your brand? Choose Dynamark, your local one-stop shop for all your print, signs, promo products, apparel, and mailing services. Serving Indianapolis for over 50 years. Dynamark, where strong relationships are built through exceptional service.
Thirteen unanswered points here for Delta in the third quarter. They have taken over. They lead Mount Vernon, spoiling homecoming night, 26-7. Here is the return from the 2 as Meyer cuts back, tries to shake out of a few tackles, and does. Now it's a foot race, and he'll get it out to about the 24-yard line. So Delta's defense has forced Mount Vernon back-to-back 3-and-outs. They turned that into 13 points offensively.
Well, Mount Vernon desperately needs something to get going, much like it did there in the back half of the second quarter. They got to be able to find that niche that they had and working some things out of the pocket, maybe getting some play action, some misdirections. But it also has to happen up front with this O-line. It's been a tall task tonight for them holding back the Eagles' front four, along with just the good coverage that these defensive backs have provided tonight for Delta.
So let's see if Mount Vernon can get the offense going here in the third quarter. They have not had a first down in this third. Quick throw over the middle, caught, and just like that, a pickup of 12 to move the sticks on 1st and 10. A nice pitch and catch there for 12 yards to James Batee.
They just need you to speak it to existence right there for them. As soon as you said it, they delivered. But, no, good working something right over the seam, actually. Did a good job, too, the running back picking up Manette on the rush, or the blitz.
So a 1st and 10. From about the 36-yard line, Meyer under pressure, breaks out of it. Better protect that football, and does as he goes down. He might have got back to the original line of scrimmage. They might give him one. It'll be 2nd and long.
That's the thing you got to do. If you're obviously sending the blitz and you're flushing him out of the pocket, then if you're the defense, you got to really, really rely on your linebackers to be able to hold him.
Aspen Creek Grill. Why go anywhere else if you're looking for fresh, amazing food and servers who truly care about your experience? Try Aspen Creek Grill. 2nd and long. Meyer, quick drop, throws, almost picked off, deflected, and caught past the 40-yard line to the 41. Should have been intercepted. It winds up in Evan Privett's hands, and he takes it for a pickup of 4. That would have been a houser.
Well, I don't know that you can get one any cleaner than that. Certainly would have been to the house for 6, but Ryan Neal came up, went right through his hands, but did a great job of jumping the route, reading that in the eyes as we see it here. But nonetheless, it's a reception for Privet.
Yeah, that would have been he'd still be running. Under pressure. That one should have been picked off, and it goes off the defender's hands as well. So it'll be a 4th down and 5. They'll be forced to punt. But, man, if you're Delta twice there, you could have had a turnover. 26-7, 2:49 to go. Today's broadcast is a copyright production of IndianaSRN and the IHSAA, and the use of audio or video without the express written permission of IndianaSRN or the Indiana High School Athletic Association is strictly prohibited. They'll keep the offense on the field on 4th down and 5. Blitz comes across the middle, caught past the 50. 1st down, moved the sticks. That ball brought in by Mount Vernon for a first down. It's Evan Privet, once again, his third catch on this drive.
Well, and if you're the Mount Vernon offense, certainly got to feel good about that. When it's 4th and 5, you're on the negative side of the field, and your coach is, giving you the keys to the car until you drive. And so, it's got to feel good that you have the confidence in your coaches to be able to trust you in those situations.
1st and 10 throw here to the left side, overthrown, incomplete, a hard tackle to the ground as Privet will come up a little gingerly. Got hit in the back, so 2nd and 10, 2:27 to go.
I'd love to see what Manette, the defensive player for Delta, was doing, trying to help him up, but I don't think Privet was ready to get up.
Yeah.
He was still a little sore holding his back, but got drug up there anyway. So good sportsmanship, though, on that side of Delta's piece.
3 catches on this drive for Mount Vernon to move to 6, one of them coming on 4th down. Drive continues, 2nd and 10. Helmet comes off, under pressure, Meyer looks, gets a block by the lineman that lost his helmet. He's going to just send it downfield wide open to the 10, to the 5, and the 4-yard line. And talk about making something out of nothing. Mount Vernon goes 46 yards to the 1-yard line. Credit to Mason Meyer there for keeping that play going. And the lineman, big number 70, Nick Hull, loses the helmet, doesn't know what to do, Oh, I got to block you. And then we're going to whip it downfield. Keeps the play going. And Batee hauls it in down to the 2. On the jet sweep handoff, stuffed in the backfield. We're going to have a little extracurricular back and forth here. Break 2nd and goal. Let's go back to that play. I mean, a great job by Mason Meyer, just staying patient, making something out of nothing. But T gets loose, and he delivers a dime.
Well, great job, as you mentioned. Give credit to Myers for staying patient, keeping his eyes down the field, and approaching the awareness, knowing where the line of scrimmage was at and not impeding that. But it's tough when you can only protect for so long. But it's hard to cover guys for that long, too, so someone's bound to get open.
Motion receiver, fade back of the end zone, caught.
Got him.
Both feet in, touchdown, Mount Vernon.
Great job, little corner route, little fade. Great job there, well executed, and what a great job there by the sophomore to get his feet down.
So Johnson gets both feet down, and it's good for the touchdown in the back of the end zone here.
Good touch.
On a nice thrown ball there by Meyer. So a nice drive via the air, and Mount Vernon lining up to go for 2, trailing by 13. This would cut it to 11 with 1:16 to go in the 3rd quarter. A little bit of an interesting look here. Might see a shift from the line.
With this gap, so I'm sure you're going to
quick screen and the ball thrown behind Batee, and the 2-point conversion, no good. Nice drive there by Mount Vernon, 26-13, Delta leads.
This is LifeWise Academy. It's a program that teaches Bible-based character education to public school students during school hours. Not before school and not after, but during school hours.
So here's how this works. The students will leave this school building, hop on this bus, take a short ride across the street to the church. I can see the steeple from here, have Bible class, hop back on the bus, head back to school. It's that simple.
Go to lifewise.org to find your school.
During Army basic training, I found out I had 7 herniated discs. Prescription pain medication led me to a heroin addiction. I entered Wheeler's program and learned life on God's terms.
After meeting Greg, I was so impressed, I hired him. When you change that one life, it makes it all worthwhile.
Now, I have a family, house, and a job that I love. At Wheeler, you can have something everlasting.
Getting it done via the air on that drive, Mount Vernon leads to a Johnson fade in the back corner. And after the extra point, 2-point try is stuffed. 26-13 the score, the minute 16 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Become an IndianaSRN sponsor today. Support high school and college athletics while putting your business in front of loyal viewers. Coach at IndianaSRN.org. Fielded by the up back right around the 30. Cuts back, has some blocking, and off to the races. Will pass the 40-yard line to the 50 and push out of bounds at the 48. So Delta will start with good field position here and a nice return. Let's take a look back, though, at that fade route. Johnson in the corner gets both feet in.
No, very well executed. Loved the touch by Myers and the route, certainly that you had by Johnson there, too. So well executed to kind of claw their way back into this a little bit, and then got the return. And again, I mentioned it earlier too. Delta has done a phenomenal job tonight, both on the punt and kick return. I don't give it as much as to the more of the schemes and the coverage, not the coverage, but the pieces of what they're doing. It's been more of the return men. So really good job here. Positive side of the field at the 48 once again, with just over a minute to go in the third.
So Delta with the football, doubling up Mount Vernon, 26-13, 1:05 to go. Blevins on the reverse, hands it off to Hill. He's got room, passes the 45 to the 43-yard line. As we go under a minute here in the third quarter. And for Delta, you want to keep the chains moving and keep that clock running as well as we itch near the end of this third quarter.
Well, they've shown their ability tonight to do it both ways, where they can chew a lot of time off the clock, like we saw the first possession as well as the third possession that they have. But you also saw their first score of the second half where they did it quickly with one pass and 5 runs in a matter of about two and a half minutes.
What could be the last play of the third quarter, 25 seconds to go. Blevins runs, rolls out, right side, has a man, and off the fingertips of the intended target, Everett Lynn. It'll be incomplete. So we'll have a 3rd and 5, 19.1 to go in the third quarter. We talked about Wheeler Mission earlier in this broadcast. For over 131 years, Wheeler Mission has been a pillar in the Indianapolis community, providing help, hope, and healing to people in need. 317-686-6239 if you want to volunteer for the upcoming Drumstick Dash. Third down here, and you got to think, Craig, if you're Mount Vernon, you need this football back as quickly as possible, and that starts here on a stop on 3rd and 5.
Well, especially after you get a score and then potentially getting a 3 and out. So,
man in motion. Handoff. Enough for the first down. Passes the 35-yard line. They needed 5. They get 17. Clock will stop momentarily, moving the sticks. And Delta will start the fourth quarter looking for the end zone inside of the 35-yard line.
Well, I don't look for them to run a play here either, and it looks as if they're not. But
through 3, Delta 26-13 over Mount Vernon on IndianaSRN.
At Riskwork, we're Team Indiana through and through, from coaching youth basketball to protecting critical infrastructure. Like our partners at IndianaSRN, we invest in people first. That same grit and leadership on the court drives our work in cybersecurity. We help businesses stay secure, resilient, and ready with no guesswork. If you can trust us to protect the grid, you can surely trust us to protect your Indiana business.
It's game day, a time to focus on the excitement and not to worry about your insurance coverage. With Indiana Farmers Insurance by your side, you can step onto the field or into the bleachers with true peace of mind, knowing your coverage is handled by local agents who care about your business, your auto, your home, and your farm as much as you do. Local insurance, local agents, here for you. Now that's what we call teamwork.
Fourth quarter coming up. Delta with a 26-13 lead. It was a back and forth third quarter. 13 in the quarter for Delta, 7 for Mount Vernon. 6 for Mount Vernon after going for 2 and not getting it. 26-13. Turn it on to you, Craig Cox, with you before we start this fourth quarter. Craig, let's go around Central Indiana and look at the scoreboard on the IHSAA week number 5.
Yeah, Lebanon over McCutcheon 27-13. Carmel 42-0 over Columbus North. Likewise with Lawrence North blanking Tech right now 62-0. Brownsburg up on Fishers 42-14. Chittard Brebeuf, a big crosstown rival there at 30-6. Chittard winning that one.
1st and 10 from the 33. Handoff delayed in the backfield and stuffed it immediately for a loss of 2. And Delta will have a 2nd down and 12 coming up. And if Mount Vernon wants any hope of coming back in this contest, they're going to have to get a turnover or a 4 and out here, because you've got to think if you're Delta, this is 4-down territory inside of the 35-yard line.
Yeah, stops are at a premium, especially when you're playing from behind. You're not in a position where you're down just 1, but down 2 scores. So you got to be in a position where you can't trade points or possessions for that matter. So they got to come up with something here.
Out of shotgun, quarterback keeper. Lynch has it, passes to the 30 to the 29-yard line, so a pickup of 6. It'll be a 3rd down and 6. Minute gone by here, 4th quarter. Taking your time if you're Delta. More than likely 4-down territory. You'd think the way that their rushing game has gotten it going here in the second half, 2 attempts to get 6 yards would be in the cards for Delta. We'll have a jump here, and it looked offensively it'll be a false start. So take it right back. It'll be 3rd down and long now, so an opportunity here for Mount Vernon to get a stop and to get the football back, trailing 2 scores.
I think there's probably still more than likely in a position where you're still 4-down territory. I don't think they'll punt this, being where they're at inside the Marauders 35, but see what type of yardage they can get here, or potentially what the Marauders. I mean, this is where, hey, a tackle for a loss, but I think if it's any positive yards or even at the line of scrimmage, I look for them to go for it on 4th.
Shotgun snap, 3rd and 11. Lynch throws it deep under pressure and overthrows his intended target of Amir Hill. So a 4th and 11 from the 34-yard line. Decision time coming up here for Delta.
And you're going to go for it, which is what I thought, where you're at there. I mean, you're not going to gain a whole lot more by a punt per se, maybe 15, but you still got them in decent field position if you don't come up with it.
So Blevins checks in at quarterback. And we'll see if he'll maybe take a step back and punt it. It's exactly what he'll do. He'll boot it out of bounds, and it'll be interesting to see where the officials mark this one.
Inside the 20.
Down well inside of the 20-yard line to the, looks like the 18. So pin him into the red zone, only about a net of 15 yards, but nonetheless, Mount Vernon needs points, needs a touchdown, and they'll have to go 81 yards to get it with 10:34 to go. Not out of it, but a tall task here for Mount Vernon, trailing 26-13, trying to avoid going 0-5 to start the 2025 season.
Well, most of what they've had in terms of any part of the passing game with Myers has been certainly out of the pocket, so I think you're going to look to see much more of that.
Thought about a quick pass. Rolling out is Meyer. Still under pressure. Keeps it pushed out of bounds at the 17-yard line. So a pickup of 1. It'll be 2nd and long. Clock stops. 10:25 to play. Excuse me, they're going to mark him as a loss of 1. So 2nd and 11 from the 17.
Well, again, still doing the right thing, playing to what your strengths are with Lewis, or excuse me, I keep saying Lewis Myers outside of the pocket. But the tough thing with that is, I mean, Delta's defense understands that as well, and doing a really good job of continuing to protect the edge.
Yeah, it seems like Meyer has been on the run most of the night, and that's forced him to throw some balls behind the intended target. We're going to have more than likely a false start here as Meyer is sacked in the backfield, and a second flag.
That might be a face mask.
I think that is going to be a face mask. So we'll see what the first penalty is.
Which is tough, because if it was on the offense for movement, then they would have declined that, obviously. They were at the 17, and he gets sacked back at the 5.
So the officials will come together with 2 penalty markers on the play.
2 fouls on the play. Illegal shift
offensively. Face mask defensively. So
replay.
Offset him, and we'll replay the 2nd down and 11. LifeWise Academy. They have programs that support educators and communities by improving student outcomes. With LifeWise Academy, your community can bring biblical values back into the classroom. Call today, 614-367-5767. Second 11, 10:19 to go. Out of shotgun, Meyer kind of stumbles a little bit with his footing, throws it off his back foot, and coming back forward is Evan Privet, his 4th catch of the night. At the 27-yard line, so about 10, so it'll be a 3rd and short.
Again, Myers is showing his pocket presence and his patience at that as well. So
I'll give him the first down. It's hard to see on the near side of the field where they marked them out. Enough for the first. Meyer takes the snap. Plenty of time. Fires it deep downfield. One-on-one, and it's incomplete, out of bounds. But we had some contact right around the 40. This will be a pass interference.
Yeah, it looked like he rode him out of bounds, really, which that's always going to be. If you obstruct the route with the guy on the sidelines to that, it's certainly going to always be called from the side judge.
So both teams offensively benefiting from pass interference calls. You'll take the yardage, really how you can get them. And let's see the replay here. Again, just one-on-one inside of your screen. And you see right there, yeah, just a lot of contact there in the secondary.
Now, we weren't able to see it, but it's the right thing to do if you feel like you're beat. Instead of giving up 6, give up 15. So
Meyer going to try again, this time to the left side, going deep. This one incomplete, off the hands of the intended target, Crew Hampton, who has 15 catches, including 1 tonight. 9:57 to go. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Well, they obviously are seeing something that they like in terms of matchups, going really deep, that we haven't seen them do all game, and Meyer staying in the pocket while doing it.
So after the incompletion from the 43, 2nd down, quick throw deflected and batted down, incomplete. So 3rd and 10 from the 43, 9:55 to go. Seems like every time Mount Vernon's had an opportunity to get back into this game and grab that momentum defensively, Delta has been able to step up. 3rd and 10 from the 43.
Well, it's been interesting here, too, is that they're keeping Myers in the pocket out of these last 3 plays, and I'll make this 4.
Great look to the left side, but slightly overthrows Hampton. It'll be a 4th down and 10 from the 43 with 9:50 to play. We'll see if they go for it or if they'll punt it away. Might see one of those Mason Mayer take the snap and then
pooch punt.
Have Meyer punt it away. Four wide set, they'll take the snap. Stepping up, fires it to the sideline, caught, pushed out of bounds at the 48. And it'll be a 1st down, so a nice throw there. And on the comeback route, Hill hauls it in. And I think it's just short of the markers as we zoom out here, just short of the 1st down, so Delta will take over.
Yeah, threw it back shoulder there. It's a great route by the receiver, but that's a piece where, the receiver's got to know, where that yard marker's at and making sure that you're getting beyond it. Well-ran play, but just about 3 feet short. So
yeah, it looked like it was close when he caught the football. My momentum taking him back on the wrong side of the sticks. And Delta will take over with a 13-point lead, 9:43 to play in this one. Morales Group. They're in business to create a better future for you, your family, and the community we share. Whether you're looking for the right career or the perfect candidate, call us today, 317-472-7600. Under center, they'll hand it off. Met immediately and spins to the 49-yard line for a pickup of 1. Clock continues to roll under 9:30.
That's one of the things, Delta can certainly put a lot of pressure, on Mountain Vernon with the score here. Likely could, make it really hard for Mount Vernon to come back from that being a 3-score deficit with potentially less than 6 minutes to go. But we'll see how this plays out but there's still plenty of time, for this Marauder defense.
Got to get off the field. Had a chance there for a loss in the backfield, but Hill says absolutely not. And to the house for the third time tonight.
This young man's putting up the numbers. Don't have the unofficial pieces, but that's his second long run. It's well over 100 yards. He's probably closer to 200 at that.
Yeah, Thomas from 48 yards out.
Came into the game tonight. You know, he's averaging 88, as we see here. This is 52 yards. He had another one for 30-plus, so got to be north of 150 on the night. But it came in having only 350, the leading rusher, but after 4 games, averaging almost 90 a contest.
Yeah, there just shows the Jets off into the end zone to seal this one, more than likely for Delta, well on their way to a 2-3 start, leading 32-13 with 8:57 to go. And the third touchdown on the ground for Avon Thomas. He's got 5 on the season. They'll go for 2 on a rollout pass. Caught at the 5, cuts back, hit into the end zone, and the 2-point conversion is good. 34-13 Delta.
At Riskwork, we're Team Indiana through and through, from coaching youth basketball to protecting critical infrastructure. Like our partners at IndianaSRN, we invest in people first. That same grit and leadership on the court drives our work in cybersecurity. We help businesses stay secure, resilient, and ready with no guesswork. If you can trust us to protect the grid, you can surely trust us to protect your Indiana business.
It's game day, a time to focus on the excitement and not to worry about your insurance coverage. With Indiana Farmers Insurance by your side, you can step onto the field or into the bleachers with true peace of mind, knowing your coverage is handled by local agents who care about your business, your auto, your home, and your farm as much as you do. Local insurance, local agents, here for you. Now that's what we call teamwork.
Rushes of 52, 2, and 32 have Avon Thomas of Delta finding the end zone 3 times. Mount Vernon trailing 34-13 on the ensuing kickoff to about the 28-yard line. And Delta offensively here, Craig, has done a great job of both passing and throwing the football. They go for yet another long run that finds the end zone to go up officially 21 points, 34-13.
Yeah, it's been a little bit more of the ground attack here in the second, as you certainly, I think you have had Avon Thomas has been a big load, but, you know, they've hit passes here and passes there, a little bit of the out routes, if you will, little 5-7 yards, and but have really established a lot of the ground game and done a great job here. And Mount Vernon just hadn't been able to respond here in the second half as of yet.
And Myers looked pretty good as we see him on the out route here. Enough for the first down on the pitch and catch. Nice job grabbing a couple extra yards there. But, again, just a couple turnovers and defense not being able to stop the run. Delta with the 21-point lead as we see here. Meyer, again, another great accurate throw. And it's he looks way more comfortable when he's able to set his feet and throw. It.
Without a doubt. Now, great observation there, and certainly being able to step into it as well.
Out of shotgun he comes, 1st and 10, under pressure. Tries to wiggle out of it, and he's going to go down. So nice pursuit there. And the sack from Delta, that's Everett Lynn. That's his 3rd sack of the season. And it'll be a 2nd down and long. 2nd and 25 for Mount Vernon. What do we like tonight out of Mount Vernon? They've been able to throw the football at times. Defense has looked okay. It just seems like Delta has made the plays in the big-time moments tonight.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's, again, they're as much as we've seen more of Myers staying in the pocket as we did the first 3 quarters where they were getting him out of the pocket, and I think that's more of his strength. But they've shown their ability to continue to fight. They showed a little bit of life there in the 3rd quarter, getting a couple stops and turning one of those into a score, but just haven't been able to answer the last 2. with some quick possessions.
Another push here from Delta's defensive line, picked up nicely by Mount Vernon, and on the out route, wide open, would have been enough to at least make this a 4th and manageable. Falls off the intended target's hand, and Mount Vernon's going to be forced to punt here on a 4th and 25.
Yeah, really tough play there. And, I think Mason gave him a good ball, and sometimes that happens, just losing the focus momentarily. But certainly would have gave enough. But nonetheless, Delta getting this back in what more than likely will be another good field position.
Booted from the 15. Got plenty of leg behind it. Takes it at about the 38. Gets a block. Passes the 50-yard line. And Thomas is barely tackled from behind. Forward progress to mark him to the 38. So Delta plus territory here to start this drive with 7:33 to go in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, really good job. Again, finding the great vision there, putting his foot in the ground, making some cuts. But again, not only has some explosiveness, but has really good vision in terms of hitting his gaps.
Yeah, I think Avon Thomas well on his way to the player of the game here this evening with 3 touchdown runs. He's really been a difference in this one offensively for Delta. Man in motion. Blevins hands it off. Thomas spins, keeps the legs churning for a pickup of 6. A little bit of clock management here, a little bit of we want to score. But again, although up 34-13, these are situations where down the line in the tournament, which is just a few weeks away, you're thinking, all right, what does our offense look like, in a short field like this with an opportunity to maybe win a football game in late October to advance in the tournament?
Well, I think in moments like this, I mean, it's easy when you're on the other side to say, hey, they're running up the score. I don't think that's certainly what they're looking to do here. You're always playing for a bigger moment than what you're presented with right now. And you mentioned that, Tony. It's like, late in the year, you're going to be put in different situations, and you've got to be able to understand what you can do in those circumstances if the table is flipped. And so, with still 7 minutes, 6.5 to go, it's too early to be taking knees or victory formation by any means. You're still trying to run through, create possessions. And here's the other thing, too. We haven't seen a bunch of it as of yet. But then you got to look, and as soon as I say that, here they come, is maybe a few of the second-string guys.
Yeah.
You never want any of your starters to go down, but if they do, what type of quality reps and, possessions have they been in on and where you might need them later in the season?
So Lynch and quarterback hands it off up the middle, untouched, down to the 5 is number 3. That is Gray Backus, and he runs it down inside the 5-yard line. Meyer on the tackle. We see Mason go both ways, both offensively and defensively. Lynch under center.
Oh, that's going to be a penalty.
And we're going to have a penalty here inside of the 5-yard line.
To me.
A nice handoff here. Plenty of space. And Delta very patient out of the backfield here tonight, which has led to big-time plays at over 200 yards on the ground.
Well, we just talked about quality reps, for some of your guys. Backus has 32 yards coming into this game. Rushing after 4 games. So, I mean, he's averaging about 10 yards a game. So, I mean, he got more on that one play. So, those things can be very valuable to you as you move into the back half of your season and prepping for a sectional play. So, you can't trade any of this time that these guys get in these circumstances.
So, after the penalty, it's a 1st and goal from the 1. Backus in the backfield. Let's see if he runs it to the left here. Lynch hands it off. Backus. See if he got over the goal line.
I think he's short.
Just short.
I think they're trying to help him get his first touchdown of the season, but I think he's inside the 1, or maybe right at the 1.
So a good push here by the Marauders for the 1st down stop. 2nd and goal from the 1. going to get an opportunity here if you're Mount Vernon to say, look, there's going to be games down the line where we're going to need this huge goal line stop. Can we get it? You'll remember this film later in the season if you can get that done. Lynch. Handoff again. Backus, he's in for the touchdown. The 5th rushing touchdown of the night for Delta, and they lead 40-13, 4:39 to go. (40-13). You see the replay here. Just nice, great job all night here on the offensive line by Delta. They've been able to open up those A and B gaps and allow their rushers to get over 200 yards here this evening. Extra point is blocked. 4:39 to go. All Delta, they lead 40-13.
Did you know, according to the National Federation of High Schools, 80% of new officials quit the game after just 2 seasons because of abusive behavior from the stands and sidelines?
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Bertner Electric Incorporated provides professional commercial electrical contractor services to Indianapolis and surrounding communities. Locally owned and operated for over 30 years, our knowledge and experience make us the perfect choice for all your commercial electrical contractor needs. Contact us today.
A huge second half here for Delta. They have outscored Mount Vernon 27-6 in the second half on IndianaSRN. And with 4:38 to go, they'll return this from the goal line to the 22-yard line. Delta's rushing attack has been impressive tonight. They found the end zone on 4 touchdowns here this evening.
Well, it's one, obviously, Avon Thomas has been a big load of that as well, but certainly give credit to these 2 quarterbacks and this offensive line. They've got a great job, and to the Delta coaching staff for calling such a great game. But for these quarterbacks executing it, for these the O-line, really is in some ways just as much as Avon Thomas can certainly be the MVPs as well.
Out of shotgun comes the sophomore, Meyer. Excuse me, the senior. We're going to have a flag on the play. And I think if you're Mount Vernon, you're going, okay, we're down 40-13. Obviously, the game's out of reach. Let's not make any penalties. Let's make some completions. Let's move the sticks. Let's maybe try to score one more time. And here they'll get a free 5 yards on first down.
Well, as much as we just talked about how the importance is on Delta's side and how valuable it can be when you're up, this can be so valuable when you're down too, because can't hang your head. You got to continue to play through this as Myers goes long again to Johnson. And no, that's not. That's Crew Hampton.
Yeah, Hampton, the intended target. A nicely thrown ball there. Both the defender and receiver go back for it, and it falls incomplete. So 2nd down and 5 here. But again, you're opening up the playbook here saying, let's take some shots. Let's see what works. And let's see what doesn't work against this defensive set from Delta.
Well, and this whole quarter, you've had quite a few looks. That's probably about the 5th or 6th pass that you've seen Myers go well down the field, 30-plus.
3 wide set. Battie in the slot. Looking left as Meyer. He'll decide to run with it. Makes one man miss. And gets to the 38-yard line, so a pickup there of about 11. Just needed 5, first down, move the sticks, 4:14 to play in this one. Delta with a 40-13 advantage. No sense of urgency here for Mount Vernon as the clock now rolls after resetting the chains. Meyer, plenty of time. Pressure comes, throws it deep down the sideline, one-on-one. And a nice job there to get a hand in and deflect the football away for the incompletion. Carter Jackson there on the breakup for Delta. We've got players down.
It looks like Johnson, Brenton Johnson, the receiver. Don't know if that was, again, you think maybe heat cramp or if it was actually an injury, but certainly hoping for the best for him.
Timeout on the field. We'll take it with them. 4 minutes to go. Delta 40-13.
IndianaSRN wants to put more kids on TV. And honestly, that's exactly what these kids deserve. They stream more than 350 high school and college games every year, giving Indiana athletes the spotlight they've earned. All games are free to watch with On Demand on their YouTube channel. The cost is amazingly affordable, which means more kids get their moment to shine. IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Welcome back. Fourth quarter, 4 minutes to go. Delta 40-13. Tony Donahue, Craig Cox with you. Hey, wanted to mention this. At halftime, we had an awesome interview with Mike Lemon from our friends at Wheeler Mission. Be sure to go back and check that out. Mike Lima, excuse me. They have a lot of awesome opportunities coming up, and we would love for you to get involved with our friends at Wheeler Mission. Tony Donahue, Craig Cox with you. And an unseasonably hot evening, week 5 of the IHSAA high school football season. Mount Vernon on homecoming, trailing 40-13, 4 minutes to go, and clock will run. Now, out of shotgun. Meyer under pressure. Looks, scrambles away, and dumps it off. Batee gets across the 50. So Meyer, looking downfield, knew that Batee was ready right there, dumps it off for about a 7-yard pickup. Then he turns it across the 50 and a pickup of 21 on the pitch and catch.
Just another example there as we see it here. Just great presence and patience that we talked about earlier. And just to turn what appeared that might not be going for anything into something. So move the chains here for another new set of downs.
Meyer, backyard football now, throws it across the middle, incomplete with 3:36 to go. So they started the clock on play after the timeout and the incompletion. And then we have a flag down in the backfield here. We'll see if it's a late hit. With 3:36 to go. All Delta in this one, 40-13. And it looks like this is going to go on Mount Vernon, move them back to the 45. 2nd and 20. Shotgun snap, 4 wide receiver set for the Marauders. Meyer looks. Kind of a sidearm flick across field. It is incomplete, so a 3rd and 20 coming up. Clock stops, 3:31 to go.
The other thing I'll mention, too, is about this defensive backfield for Delta is as much as actually Mount Vernon's been passing, certainly here in the second half, we saw a little bit of it in the first, is not only how well they've been covered, but these DBs are getting a lot of hands on the balls. You haven't seen, a lot of Mount Vernon's receivers open with space.
Screen route here, caught to the 50-yard line. So it'll be a 3rd and 15 from midfield for Mount Vernon. Clock continues to run here on IndianaSRN. We'll have your schedule coming up for you. Plenty of games here across our airwaves, so be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube. Plenty of awesome upcoming action for you. Meyer runs for his life here, keeps rolling. He's hit out of bounds.
Oh, that's going to be a penalty.
That's going to be a penalty flag. So, again, we talked about situational football. You're down 40-13 or you're up 40-13. Things like that, the late hits. You don't want that. You certainly don't want that when in a game like this that is obviously out of the realms of a victory. But, again, for Delta, you're going, all right, we don't need that because there's going to be times where that could cost us a football game.
Yeah, I mean, it's the mental side of the game for one. I mean, he not only was in the black, he was almost in the gold on the sideline. So, again, as we see the replay here, obviously Meyer's doing a great job of reading, turns upfield, was well out of bounds there. Just got to be smarter than that for one. He was giving himself up and getting out of bounds, but takes ball down 15 inside the red zone. As Meyer's here in shotgun formation.
Another opportunity for Mount Vernon inside of the red zone. Under pressure, plenty of time. Meyer has space, got to hold on to the football, slides down right at the 2-yard line. So they'll be first and goal with under 2:40 to play. And again, an opportunity here for Mount Vernon to work on their goal-to-go offensive package. They're going to mark it at the 4-yard line.
Well, give them credit. They're still competing, dropping back to pass. Didn't like what he saw. Had a lot of space. And did a good job. Would have liked to seen him bounce to the outside. I think he certainly probably would have scored there where most of the defense was in the middle of the field there. But nonetheless, just inside the 5.
Deion Clarkson in the backfield with him. Try to push the pile forward to about the 2. And Meyer gets it back down to the 2. Always good to score late on your homecoming evening, especially as a senior. Meyer steps up, fires, caught, touchdown. Evan Privet with his 3rd touchdown of the season. Makes it 40-19. And again, that film right there, offensively, you're going, all right, what has worked for us inside of the 5-yard line? And a nice little out right there, great throw by Meyer, and we have a touchdown for Mount Vernon.
Yeah, no, I mean, these young guys are certainly still competing, and you love that. I mean, never quit. And again, this can certainly play dividends because not every game you're going to be playing from behind. So extra point there is good, makes it a 20-point ball game.
Minute 44 to go on IndianaSRN.
Hello and welcome to Game Day. My name is Keith Myers. I'm the Vice President of IndianaSRN. We're glad that you joined us today. If you'd like to see more content just like tonight, just hit the donate button. Every dollar that you donate will go right back into more games right here on IndianaSRN, which means more games for you. It's IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
Your business depends on quality, efficiency, and reliability. At Reynolds Farm Equipment, we help you stay ahead with John Deere commercial mowers built for performance. Whether you're maintaining parks, businesses, or neighborhood lawns, you need equipment that works as hard as you do. With expert service, flexible financing, and the best lineup of mowers in the industry, Reynolds keeps your operation running strong. Reynolds Farm Equipment, your local John Deere dealer since 1955.
Minute 44 to go here on IndianaSRN. Turning on to you, Craig Cox with you. Delta 40, Mount Vernon 20. But a nice drive there by Mount Vernon. Kind of fire drill type stuff, finding open receivers quickly, and it ends in a touchdown as this ball will be fielded and kneed at the 15-yard line. So again, despite the fact that this game was out of reach, Mount Vernon drives down, scores a touchdown, and we have a penalty marker on the ensuing kickoff. So we'll see maybe a late hit, maybe a hold on the return.
Yeah, looks like Delta's
moving
back in that.
Minute 44 to go. We'll see how they play this one out. We got Blackburn and Rose-Hulman coming up on RHIT.TV. That'll be a good one for you coming up on Wednesday. That is volleyball. And then next week, Brownstown Central and Seymour on IndianaSRN.org. High school football. Lutheran takes on Covenant Christian as well. And Pendleton Heights will battle this same Mount Vernon team. And then next week, doubleheader, Rose-Hulman soccer. The Fighting Engineers welcome in Berea. So lots to cover over the next 8 days here on Indiana SRN, and we will have a timeout. We'll take it with them. $1:40 to go, 40-20 Delta. Maybe not. Guess we'll keep it right here. Looked like there was a timeout. We had Water Girls coming onto the field. Clock is stopped. After the penalty, it'd be 1st and 10 from the 8. And I think victory formation here for Delta. So there's the whistle. And we'll see if Delta goes into victory formation. It's Deacon Blevins under center. As Avon Thomas will be our player of the game with 3 rushing touchdowns. And you see him there.
Not done.
Not done quite yet. Over 125 yards from scrimmage. And on first down, moves the sticks on the pickup of 11. Clock stopped. Now we'll run after the sticks are reset. Thought it was, yeah, it is a 1st and 10. So minute 26 to go. More than likely a victory formation here. Kneel it out and call it a night as Delta will move to 2-3 in Billy Lynch's first season as the head football coach of the Eagles. They come to Hancock Stadium and pick up the win, avenging their 49-20 loss last year to Mount Vernon. There is the knee. They'll have to do it one more time, and this one will be over. Craig, you got to like what you saw out of Avon Thomas and this offensive attack for Delta.
No, I did. I mean, you know, they've obviously have struggled a bit playing a few bigger schools, but have struggled with just the point standpoint. Just, you know, averaging, was it just 12 points over the first 2 games. And, you know, just have had a little bit of trouble putting points on the board, and certainly wasn't an issue tonight. And I don't think that was just because of how Mount Vernon's defense played. I think that, you know, Delta kind of found their way tonight and certainly did some good things execution-wise.
Well, when you look at Mount Vernon, you're going, all right, that turnover in the second quarter on the 3rd down, bounced fumble. Next play leads to a touchdown. You know, a couple plays here and there. This could have been a much closer game. For all of us here at Indiana SRN, a big thanks to Daniel Thacker, Nathaniel Finch, Craig Cox. I'm Tony Donahue from Mount Vernon, Delta, with a 40-20 victory on Indiana SRN.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.